got all these good players. They've even got all these aggressive players that you expect to be an entry type player. Where's the coordination there? Like, if you can bring that together, you could be a very dominant team. But that's the one thing I think they still lack, is like the leadership aspect.
Definitely, and even when NIP is winning, you can take other competitions. The T side never look clean and organized. Sure, they can win rounds because they have individual like talent a lot.
They're
And
skilled,
whenever they get the advantage, whenever they get the edge in the round, they know how to close it because of the experience, because they've played this 5v4 a million times. But whenever they hit the brick of wall, then they cannot finish it. Like, they don't have the tactical background to just find that one. In French we used to call it like a diamond tactic. That's what we used to call it. Like, whenever you can find a solution, you have this one tactic that always works. You can only use it one time in a game because it's so obvious. But NIP doesn't have that. So either they get the entry fragging, and they do sometimes, right? Because they are good players. But if they don't, they lack solutions. And I think this is what's happening against Fnatic in this game.
Yeah, but I mean, I guess for everything considered, Ninja's pajamas aren't out. Let's not paint that picture. They're not out of the running here. There is a real shot for them to kind of redeem themselves. Is that's something that could be on the cards. One thing we are going to do, though, is go down to the show floor where Frankie is standing by. We do have an interview lined up. Let's see who she's got.
JW joins me now to talk about the epic Swedish derby. How was that for you?
Pretty up and down, I would say. I think we started off really good on overpass. Then we had a pretty bad T side. We messed up some key rounds, which made us lose in the end. And then going into cash, I think once again we had a pretty strong start, but we almost not really threw it away because they played really good. So it's not like we threw it away, but I think we could have closed it earlier than we did. We should easily have closed it at 16-14, I would say, but it went to overtime. We won that, and then for the first time in the best of three, we started off pretty poor, I would say. We were down like 8-3 or something, but we managed to get 2 rounds on the end, so 10-5, and then we knew we had a really good CT side, so we just had to expect that from ourselves at that point, I guess, and I'm happy that we delivered.
And how was your confidence going into this game? Because one of the most enduring images that has stayed with me since the major has been Brollan's head in his hands after you guys crashed out of the challenger stage. Yeah,
it's been quite some tough time, I would say, especially for the new guys, Brollan and Twist. Both came into the team, and we had a pretty good period, but then everything went to hell, basically, and I think it affected their confidence the most because they're not as experienced as we are, and combined with us as a team had a pretty rough period before, so we've swapped a lot of players these past 1 or 2 years, and I think they started to doubt themselves. Maybe we want to start making changes and stuff again, and I think that affected their confidence a lot. But we had some really good talks, and I hope everyone is feeling safe within the team now, so I hope we can just build our own confidence and keep climbing.
And what is it like playing against players that you know so well? There was a lot of shooting at dead bodies in that match, I noticed.
I mean, it's a Swedish matchup. It's not necessarily like a grudge match, but of course we have been battling for many years. It was a long time since we battled each other on LAN now. And yeah, I mean, Lekro had played in our team, Draken had played in our team. So yeah, Exist played in NIP as well. So it's a lot of memories and stuff like that between the teams, but it's not really a grudge match between the players. But I think it's good for both the community and the CS as a game to keep building up these games and matchups. So I think it's mostly that.
And talking of Draken and awkward moments, there was one in the bathrooms on Overpass. Can you talk me through what happened there? You ran out of bullets.
Yeah. Stupid as I am, I saw he was peeking not towards me, so of course I'm JW, and in my mind there's always going to be the knife. So I was pretty much getting ready for going up and knifing him, but then the same second I was going to pull up the knife, he turned around, and I wasn't ready for that. And overall I played very bad the whole overpass match. I think it got into my head a bit, and I started doubting myself a lot and missed pretty easy kills the whole game, I would say. So yeah, it was a combination of me trying to go for the knife and just a bad performance overall.
One more thing I do want to ask you about before tomorrow's best of 3. You didn't win a single pistol in that match. So what are you going to do to sort that? What you won? Sorry, I apologize. You won 1 out of 6 pistols, JW. My bad, but you did lose 5. So let's talk about those. How are you going to fix those?
I think together with us being more, maybe not trying to make it so complicated, but also I think we played an IP. They are usually very, very good with pistols. And I think even with the addition of Draken, even though they lost Dennis, I think Draken is pretty, pretty good with the pistols as well, to be honest. So, yeah, hopefully we are going to play it more simple, perhaps, but also playing a team that isn't that good at pistols.
Well, thank you so much for talking to me, JW. Congratulations on that win. I know you guys in Fnatic needed that. Let's see what you do with that going into tomorrow, and let's head back to the analyst desk.
Always looking for those knives, but it's not always the case, I guess. Let's go ahead and wrap up what this was, this Swedish affair. We could talk about Swedes all day long, and I feel like we kind of have, given the length of that series. But let's kind of tie it all in together here for some closing thoughts.
Speaking of knives, do you like skins?
Oh, shit, yeah, I do.
All right, well, if you like skins, a partner of StarSeries, StarLadder, whatever the company's name is, I'll figure that out eventually, is Hellcase. And if you go to Hellcase and you use the code SLTV, that'll be short for StarLadder TV, my mistake, it's StarLadder after all, then you can get extra money on your account. And if you use the code SLTV25, no, you don't have to be 25, but you get 25% refill bonus.
You do. And you do need that refill bonus. I think that's
if you want to refill
exactly, if you're going to refill, if you're going to participate in those type of things, you do that. You might have also noticed the fact that there was a CS.money fly through there at the bottom, which is something I can also tell you about. Head over to CS.money, a bot for trading your skins, and of course a partner of StarSeries. Now, Maniac, we need to take a look at some of the matches we've had today. So what we're going to do,
Let's do that.
is we're going to throw them right up on the screen, and we're going to see exactly how today has kind of transpired, how it has all kind of unfolded up to this point.
Because there were a lot of games, right?
There have been quite a few games, and yes, Vici are really putting Na'Vi to the test right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So Na'Vi is actually battling out with Vici right now. We have seen, obviously, Fnatic take 2-1 against NIP. MIBR disposed of Panda pretty easily and quickly, as they should have. FaZe Clan also had an easy time against Pain. That was also necessary for them, I think. Renegades actually had a really nail-biting series with Tyloo. As you said, already they played against each other so many times. It's almost like a typical rival matchup at this point. NRG, who made the best out of North 2-1. That was a close series. And ENCE won 2-0 against Spirit, but that was actually a close game. It wasn't as easy for ENCE as it might have been. Maybe a little bit jittery at the beginning of the tournament. I was casting that game. I would have expected ENCE to carry on with the game pretty easily, but that wasn't the case. Spirit actually put up a fight.
It was tense for ENCE.
It was tense for ENCE.
And almost as tense for Na'Vi right now. I'm just going to give a quick update as to what we've got going on over here, because this is the third map, and it is currently 13-7 in favor of Vici right now.
13-7, you said?
13-7. The numbers don't lie, and neither do we. Duncan, thoughts on Na'Vi, or not as sincere as they're known formally?
Yeah, the tough thing for Na'Vi is a lot of people still talk as though like, oh, how are they going to improve, when they're going to turn the corner. It's like, I hate to break this to you guys, but if you followed the history of CSGO, most lineups only last like 9 months, a year. That's usually if you're the most successful as well. Like you win all the majors. That's what keeps you together, is winning. This Na'Vi lineup, this 5-man lineup has been together now since the latter part of 2017. We're talking like we're coming up like a year and a half at this point in time. So I have to say, with some of the recent results where they've been a bit shaky, clearly when you got some of the best players in the world, simple, you're still going to have big results, but I don't know, they don't look like a championship team at the moment. And an event without Liquid, without Astras, you want to see them be the team that can come and win the trophy. So this could well be an omen, I think, for when is the change going to happen in Na'Vi? Is it going to be one player? Is it going to be two? Are we going to split the team in half? So yes, it hasn't happened yet, but I feel as though these are like the early omens that there's potentially trouble.
Oh yeah, and what is really worrying about Na'Vi is that we used to say, or we always say, that Na'Vi could have like a slow start in the tournament, right? And more often than not, we put it on the best of one format. We say, oh, okay, Na'Vi's having a bad start. That's how it is. They lose the first game. Then they eventually bounce back in the tournament. But this is actually best of 3 now. So that's not the same. Losing 2-1 against Vici in a best of 3 series is not the same as having one map off at the beginning of the tournament. So that would be really, really like worrisome for Na'Vi.
Especially because Na'Vi was actually famous. If you go back to when they were in their prime last summer, they had a very, very good map pool. Like best of 3s where they shined.
Well, you guys just have such big topics, and I know they're vital to the conversation. And I know that I can crowbar them even harder than that. Duncan, I know you're kind of whipping something up there. I just feel it. No, I'm kidding. We're going to be going to a quick break. Okay, that's not bad. Okay, we're going to a quick break. We come back. We got Vitality and Big Clan squaring off on what could be 3 maps, but guaranteed at least 2. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
your bets at GG.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at GG.bet.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. The trade platform and the marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
Hellcase. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.
Got a big matchup on our hand, and they're going to be taking on Vitality. We actually do have one Swiss gentleman here on the desk to join us to talk about it, alongside of an Englishman by, I guess, birth, right?
Just entirely.
Yeah,
Just in general.
I don't know how that kind of, I mean, like, since you relocate, and then there's that whole
Don't worry
thing.
about that.
Anyway, all of that nonsense aside, we got Big and Vitality. Last matchup of the day, a best of 3. And, well, again, this would be a good start for either of these teams here. And I have a hard time determining which of these teams I would put the most stock in going into this best of 3.
Yeah, well, if you base yourself on the major, I think Vitality has a little bit of an edge. They did have a better run at the major, but I would say both teams are here looking for redemption somehow. Obviously, Big didn't really live up to the expectations at the first event with Xantares. He, as a player, he wasn't really at his best. What we know he can do, at least was doing with Space Soldiers, right? And Vitality, even though they made it for the next major, they qualified for that, it didn't feel like they were at their best. That's what they were saying in interviews. So both teams come in here with definitely the intention of playing better.
Yeah, the interesting thing is they're two such divergent teams as well, because even though on paper you would think, well, the skill edge should be for Vitality, you look at those names in the line, oh, it's going to be such a good lineup. It's mainly been Ziwu, the newer guy who, yes, he's supposed to be a big talent, but he's overshadowed the other players in this team. Yes, MBK has an event that's good, or a stage of the major that's good. Apex can certainly have a map where he goes off. We all know that. Obviously, in his role, it's going to be hard to carry every time. But actually, the skill aspect on Vitality, I still feel like it goes a bit missing sometimes, and it underwhelms me, because when you want to play a looser style, you've got to have people firing on all cylinders in that respect. So you look at who they've got elsewhere in the lineup. RPK, I mean, his hair's greying, and I tell you what, his game's sort of greying as well, because this guy used to be a monster a couple of years ago, even in Csgo, and it's been tough in Vitality. Alex, the newer guy, it's his first chance at this level. I don't blame him necessarily. I'm not sure where he's fitting in terms of the roles there, what he's doing with it in terms of the in-game leading aspects, but yeah, it's a tough scenario. And you see, they have a great win rate here on a lot of the maps. These are going to be including online games, almost certainly.
What is really interesting is they have played 74 maps in the past 3 months in official. That's for people
that's the
who
qualifier
watch us,
grind.
that's huge.
Yes.
That's a lot of matches. So in that sense, even if MBK said in an interview that they got that invite last minute because they had to fill in for a team, obviously the preparation wasn't really fixed and oriented for this event. But it doesn't matter. To me, you are in full shape right now. You've played a million officials. You've played all the maps. You know all the tactics. You have to perform at this event.
Right. You've got your reps in at this point. There's absolutely kind of nothing to fall back on. It's well, no preparation, this, that, and the other. You talk about 74 maps, and that's exactly what the number's shown. And for, I guess, highest-rated players up to this point, Ziwu is that character.
Of course.
Yeah, that is insane. I think I might be wrong there, but he has like a better rating than Simple the past 3 months. You have to take
be careful, man.
No,
Online
you have to keep in mind who he's playing against, right? So
Yes.
let's put a little bit of distance on that. But still, that is crazily impressive. And at the major, I would say that he was a little bit underwhelming, but that is because we take as a context his insane numbers. Still, for a first major, first big event with Vitality, I think that was a really good start. But to me, he's going to be up there with the best one day.
Well, there's a guy that has found himself amongst some of the best, and it's been kind of an interesting road to watch this guy play. Xantares over on Big Clan. We need to talk about the Big Clan, the German side of things. Now, obviously, boistering the Turk there as well. So talk to me about what it is that is Big Clan. You know, they've kind of had a roller coaster of a ride themselves. They do have a veteran in Gabi at the helm here. But what is it that's keeping these guys from reaching that ultra threshold at the very top?
Well, that's why the addition of Xantares was so tantalizing when they had Smooya as well, because then they had like explosive players. They had the German core, which you expect to have great tactics coming from God B. He always has his guys well drilled on the maps. They always have innovative utility usage. That seemed to me like that could be what could take them to the next level. But then immediately the whole Smooya angle threw it off, because he leaves the team. Next, bizarrely, who supposedly was supposed to be injured and couldn't play, so all of a sudden is back in the lineup, is playing again, which makes it sound to me like he was on the way out and they were kind of pushing him out. And then they had to, like the Godfather, pull him back in at the last minute. So you look at the map pool, this is actually a sign of the problems they've had over the last few months, because actually the old Big with less skill had a really nice map pool. Actually, they could go all over the place. But you look at some of the maps here, Mirage, that's absolutely died. Overpass, that used to be a pretty good map for them, not there. It's actually the maps you look traditionally, Dust, Cash, these aren't super tactical maps. So I feel like this is a team that's lost their way a little bit. And I still think, look at the pieces, they could be the best team in this matchup. They could be one of the top placing teams here, but I haven't seen it yet with this particular lineup without Smooya in the lineup.
I agree. I definitely have the sentiment that Big have lost their identities a little bit, and maybe adding Xantares and adjusting their game plan around him a little bit, which is not a mistake, right? He has such a big potential. You have to put him in comfortable situations. But it does feel like the old big isn't here anymore.
Right.
Tactical big with like depth, and they never threw around away. Always had interesting stuff popping up here and there. They don't really have that. They didn't have at the major, at least.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at a big clan at Cologne, right? Let's go all the way back to the summer and say, yes, it's a big clan with Smooya, and they made a big stand there. But I think it's tapered off ever since then. I think that would probably be the most appropriate way to sort of judge what's happened to this big clan.
Sure, especially because that was when they got the surprise factor then. They had a mixture of like the honeymoon aspect with Smooya. They got the surprise factor. Teams like FaZe had no clue they're going to be playing them in a big semi-final, so they didn't know which maps to go against them on, how to play them. The problem is, this is always the problem when someone has the initial flash of brilliance, is can you maintain that when everyone knows what you want to do, how you want to do it, and then it's like, do it now, execute in front of everyone. That's really tough. And so I have a lot of faith in Godby. I think he's a great leader, but bringing in Xantares, they already had, I thought, an interesting dynamic trying to work Smooya into the lamp, because clearly not a guy who wants to play in a big system like that. Xantares, this is not a guy who's been playing a lot of tactical Counter-Strike. He's a guy where early in his career, he just ran out and headshot you. Later on in his career with Space Soldiers, they sort of played the game around him, and he was kind of given that. I almost think of it as like the Shocks or Nico effect, where you can kind of choose where you go. People play around you. You come into a team like this, Godby's going to tell you where he wants you on the map, and you're going to have to do a job on that position. That's a different game.
Have you ever heard of the movie Goon by any chance?
Yes.
It's about the
Kevin
hockey
Smith
player.
one, yeah.
Yeah, and he just kind of gets out there and he just takes the big hits and he just takes the fights. I feel like that could be a comparison here. I feel like this Xantares, he could come in here and really put a hurting down as long as he finds that rhythm within this big clan. And that's really kind of, I guess, the big question mark.
It hasn't really been the case right now, and the problem is when you look at big, one of the win conditions is for Xantares to be activated, right?
Yes.
The way this lineup actually works is if you have Tapson doing Tapson thing, which is being very consistent, always there in the games. Then you add Xantares to it. You have the Godby tactical aspect. Then Nex is on and off. That's how it is. And Tizian is probably just going to do what he needs to do as an anchor. So that's how they should do it.
Well, let's do this. We got some maps coming up for you. It's going to be Overpass and Dust 2. Figured Dust 2 would come in there. It seems like a map that both sides here kind of favor and like to play. And that kind of leaves us going where for the decider?
Well, Mirage was pretty bad, so you'd expect Big's going to veto that at this point in time. Question is, do you want to play Cash? I would think they would want to, but the problem is Vitality likes that map.
Yeah, exactly. So Vitality would be happy to play Cash.
I think the gamble here, if you're Big, is let's just play Mirage. They're going to go to Cash. I've got to say, if you're Vitality, how could this have gone better? This is pretty much the maps you want.
That's a good veto, right? Overpass is a really good map for Vitality, both T side and CT side. As we have said, it's a map that has fallen off, at least for Big, statistically speaking, only 20% win rate past 3 months. I would say the Frenchmen are pretty happy with the way the veto banned.
The problem is, if you're Big, we saw on the stats there, Dust 2 and Cash were two of their best maps. These are the maps they have to try and get. They were never going to get trained because Vitality bans it anyway. So they themselves are thinking we got the good end of the deal. So what I like about this setup is, let's just play the games. Like, it's not about is there a bias on this side, this side. Both teams think that they got 2 out of 3 at least that they're going to be good on. I personally would say Vitality can play all 3 maps. So I actually put a lot on Big here. They've got to really show me they're a better team if they're going to win with only 2 out of 3 chances.
Does this seem like a game that could come right out of the gate and be really explosive in terms of dictating the pace? Because both teams want to set a precedence, right?
Yeah, I would say it depends on who starts on the T side, to be honest. If it's Big, then I would expect like a slow, methodical type of game style. Vitality, on the other hand, they could have this type of very explosive game where if they win 1, 2, 3 rounds, they're going to just try to get you out of breath and play super fast and kind of lose you into the game. So it really depends on who dictates the pace at the beginning of the game.
In terms of these results here, I have to say, actually, considering we're just seeing losses there on the Big side of the equation, a bunch of those are teams that do play Overpass. Like obviously Hellraisers, that was like almost a specialty for them. Ents play it when forced to, but have a pretty good win rate on it. Windigo, that's part of actually how they got so far at WSG. Meanwhile, over on the other side for Vitality, okay, winning against NIP, as we said before, it's pretty good. They're a solid team on this map. Some of those results, they're all right. You know, those aren't necessarily teams that go to this map as a specialty. So I think actually maybe the stats are a little bit misleading there. Like the 100% win rate isn't as crazy as it sounds. This isn't like they knocked off all these top teams in a row and they're unbeatable.
Just in comparison to the teams you have in front of you.
Yes.
I mean, there's 10 teams on the page. And you could see the difference. You can see the disparity. We can take a look at Dust 2 as well. And again, the teams are not going to be able to, I guess, stack up in terms of like, oh, we've got a high body count here because we've taken some big dogs down.
Well, here's another example, actually. So I can actually go to the Big side and again tell you that it's not that bad that they have the 50% win rate because they beat G2. They were pretty much specializing on this map. Ents, everyone knows is solid on this map, always a danger to play it. these aren't bad teams to be playing overall. On the other side of the equation, again, great win rate, but like Epsilon, Spirit, Sprout, LDLC, these are not top teams. You're not going to, most of these teams aren't at this event. So that's a little bit, this is the problem with the Vitality aspect, because so many of the games are online and it's online qualifiers, and they're sort of farming the tier 2 and tier 3 teams to get these wins. So I think actually it's averaging out a lot more in terms of who I favor on these maps.
And this kind of displays what you guys are talking about with both teams being comfortable going to cash and kind of seeing this final battle. If it goes down to 3 maps, of course, cash being a really good proving ground for both teams.
Definitely. A map that both teams have played in the past, were used to be really good on the map at some point. Big, when they had that crazy run, cash was definitely one of the maps they were playing. You know, when we had that crouch jump, they were used to do it on the ramp. They were the first one to do it. But I agree with Duncan, like the stats per se and the teams that they've played against are a little bit skewed, so we should take it just as is. But I think it paints the picture of, for Vitality, they're on a roll right now. They've sure they have beaten teams a little bit lesser in the ranking, but that should count for something. At least for confidence, at least you trust in the system that you're using. So I want to see that here. If Vitality crash out of this tournament, then there is just no excuse whatsoever, because you had all the elements going into this.
Yes. And since we do have a few elements we are missing within the server itself, I can see just a few names lacking. I'm going to invite you to join us on social media using hashtag StarSeries S7, because that is the official hashtag of the event. I want to see how you're watching the game, where you're watching it at, who you're watching it with, what are you eating, what's going on in your life. And perhaps we'll judge you based on those things. Maybe even see your tweets on stream. I can't guarantee that. Don't even know if production has that capability. But we'll see what we can cook up. In the meantime, is it time to go back to podcast mode?
Yeah, sure. We're always happy to talk about
actually, I'll
anything.
tell you one factor for this game that I'm very interested to see, which is, by the way, at the moment, we've got the odds favouring Vitality here. They're expected to be the team that wins. I personally think it's a lot closer than I actually picked big for this one, edged them out. Map pool-wise, I think Vitality have got a good shot. The guy I want to see in this match is Tabson.
Yep.
Tabson was a guy who at times last year, especially when they had their first run, this guy looked like one of the best players in the world. I know he was on a lesser team, but he had a complete game. He could AWP, he could rifle, his pistols were amazing, he was sick in clutches. He seemed to fit exactly whatever God B wanted from him. It's not that he's not a good player anymore, that's just waned a little bit. That's why I always feel like you've got that window when someone's hitting their peak, like Zwu now. Make use of that. Get the team rolling around that.
Oh, definitely. And to add on that Tabson subject, I actually think that he had opportunities to play at a higher level, but he's just a very loyal person. He's very, like, what do you say, committed to play with his friends. And
he's been a very integral part of this entire big process from the get-go.
Because for some time, I think, at least to me, he wasn't a conversation for FaZe even. Like,
I agree,
he was one of the best individual players there is. He's very consistent. He plays like great Counter-Strike, just not only running and aiming, basically. He's good at clutches. He can play the AWP. He can rifle, of course. He's good with pistol. He had it all at some point. Yeah. So credits to him for sticking up with his friends. I don't know if it's going to be a regret he's going to have one day, but, you know, maybe we're going to see in the future.
Coulda, woulda, shoulda.
Yeah, exactly.
But never actually manifested into that. So that begins podcast mode.
Let's go.
I believe that's exactly where we were at. And we shouldn't be too far off. I'm actually seeing quite a few people connected to the server now. We are just missing one, it would appear. But that doesn't mean we're going to be getting into a knife round anytime soon. You know how these things work, and I'm sure you do as well. Guys, just from the very top of the hat here, when we're looking at these two teams, are they favorites to go farther into this tournament?
The problem I have is, like, Vitality, it feels like a lot has to come together. They obviously have the pieces to do it. They've got some legendary names, people who won majors. The big, though, it's as bizarre as it sounds, it might sound counterintuitive, because they haven't yet got it together with this 5. I don't feel like I've seen the ceiling yet. I haven't seen like what I can really expect. So, like I said, with the tactical basis they should have, and the raw skill they could have with Tabson, and then you got Xantares, and if Nex only has to be like your third best, but that's what I've always wanted to see from this guy. So potentially they could be a very good team. They could be a team that could go playoffs, top 4, but I've got to see something first. I didn't see it at the major, and they have lacked, as you say, that identity. They haven't got that awesome aspect you can fall back on. You know they'll have this, these strengths, these maps. Things are a bit all over the place.
No, I agree. I think both teams could make it to the playoff of this tournament, but based on what we have seen so far in the past weeks, it's not enough.
They're borderline at the moment, aren't they?
That is not going to be enough, but somehow we have that feeling that they could do more, and it's not something we have with every team, but definitely with Big and Vitality. I think if they play better, sure, they can make it.
But I guess in terms of puzzle pieces, do we feel like Big Clan, for example, has all the pieces now figured out that they want on this team that they need on this team for that success.
Well, what really was surprising at the major is that it felt like Big were out of breath tactically speaking, and to me that's very worrying, right? Because usually Big is one of the teams, especially when they practiced a lot before a tournament, they would come and be ready. So the major had to be one of these cases. They had to be ready, and they bombed out, to be honest.
Yeah, and we are ready for a knife round, so we'll take a look at this. In the meantime, Duncan, let's get some thoughts going into this one. Obviously, everyone seems to want to start on the CT side. That's just the way the game's played these days. But ultimately, where do you see Overpass landing?
Well, the thing is, on this map, I will actually edge it to Vitality. I mean, I know it's not like, even though the stats look super awesome, I wouldn't pick them as one of the best Overpass teams in the world or anything, but this is one of the flaws, is until Big can get that tactical identity back again, I'm not picking them on maps like this. I know they could go ham on DOS 2, they could go ham on Cash, certainly, but at the moment, I'll edge this to Vitality. I'll say this is about, they've done their homework on, they've picked it for a good reason. I think they can probably win it.
Well, Vitality literally
he had
showing their homework right there.
Exactly,
you couldn't play that any better. I'm going to flip it over to you now, Maniac. I mean, I know there might be a little bit of bias here, but perhaps not at the same time.
A little bit, but I own it. You know, people know I'm a French player. But I'm French when it comes to Counter-Strike. People don't make the difference, right? I'm still going to give that series to Vitality. Definitely Overpass. I'll give to Vitality. It's probably going to be a 3 maps, though.
Yeah, wrong side of Switzerland, you have to realise. The other side maybe lean towards the German edge. You know,
yeah, I'm from the French side of Switzerland.
Exactly, there you go.
Oh, man. Well, the conclusion of the knife round does mean that it will be Vitality picking the side that they do want, and I can imagine that being CT. However, do
you have that information already?
You know, I'm not.
Because I would not be surprised to see them start on the T side because of that whole. In the French scene, for the longest time, we had that culture of starting the first, like the tournament on the T side.
Yes.
Because we didn't want to be on the receiving end and letting the other team like dictate the pace, and you kind of fall asleep on UPC and you're not really activated straight. So you would start on the T side. But I feel like Overpass might be an exception. Just because it is so heavily city-sided.
No, that's definitely something practiced, I guess, around the way. Either way, that way is now into the game. It's time to jump into Overpass and jumping over to our commentators, fresh face and ready to go here. Fresh off a flight, it will be Sadakist and Scrawny. Take it away, Canadians.
It's true. We're the AC-11 crew. We came in today from Montreal. Yep. I have this thing when I get jet lag that I get really cold, so I'm just holding on to a coffee strictly to stay warm.
That's the only reason, right?
Nah, I'm also kind of tired.
That's okay. I mean, I think we have a good reason. We landed. I took a shower. You kind of smell. But now we're here for some Counter-Strike, Matt.
No one can smell me through their computers, Scrawny. You didn't have to, like, throw me under the bus there. You could have just not said anything.
I kind of had to.
Right,
I felt the need.
Fine.
Got to get my jabs in when I can.
Okay.
Once this game starts, I don't think I'll be able to keep up. So,
Wow, I don't know if any of us will be able to. This one's going to be an interesting one. Certainly, the similarities of sort of having a Smooya that carried. I wouldn't say carried. I don't think he did it alone, but certainly was a large part of the push in Cologne last year for Big. Now you've got Zaiwu, who's a similar story. Young Opper. French, English, there always seems to be a counter there, and is playing exceptionally well. In fact, better than I think Smooya ever was. No offense to Smooya, but this is just unbelievable from him in terms of statistics. They mentioned the Simple comparison. You can't really compare it to Simple, but nonetheless, the stats are there.
Stats are there, and so is the pistol. It is time to start, and it is Big to the T side, so we had a little back and forth on the desk. But of course, they were going to choose the CT side to start. Nice and comfortable here late in Shanghai, but also a little antsy. Alex going to get aggressive down Monster. He's got a teammate with him who is dealt with quickly. Alex has to reload, and it costs him. There's the opening to the B side if they want to charge. NBK going down opens it wide for them, though. Apex floating, also just a victim to the taps.
Yeah, unbelievable entrances so far. They did mention, good shot back. Here we go. Zaiwu, 1-on-3. Already gets the first of 4 down. Doesn't have a kit to work with, but already inside of the site has some time. Smoke on his right. Wants to try and cover off. He's actually looking to make sure there's no utility to pick up. In fact, gets the kit away by his teammate, but Zontara's already ready. They mentioned Zontara's on the desk, just to point out. Obviously, you're coming into a structured team when you have a guy like Gobby leading it. Probably one of the most structured in-game leaders, not just now, but of all time in Counter-Strike. That's not necessarily true that they were implementing him that way. We'll see if that's changed. I think it's certainly something that needs to. But when they first brought him onto the team, they actually kind of just said, go.
Yeah.
Just play, and we'll figure it out around you. And I don't know that I agree with that on this team.
Yeah, it's more so their style changed as opposed to his. So, a fresh-faced Big. And a well-equipped one as well. That AK-47 on Zanteras in and of itself can be deadly. You strap some Mac 10s to the remainder of the team, they're all good to rock and roll. I did like that setup from Vitality in the pistol. Sure, you had 2 players pushing Monster, but NBK was inside of the bomb site, so even if things went badly, which they did, there could have been a line of defense. Of course, it was all torn straight through, and an inkling that there could be more members inside this B bomb site. Tizian, he's going to be laying down that utility as the players swarm closer. So much presence down here in the water that, sure enough, 2 players get caught off guard. It's still Tizian up.
I think they have to commit because the bomb was lost. They had to go in. They couldn't fall off of it even with 2 players left. So the kill, the stack it immediately under Catwalk. That single kill on the entrance, the 3rd man, bomb went down. That was it. That's all they could do. And it goes to show, I mean, it's a gamble to stack, obviously, early game, but getting over toward the B site, it's not as open. It's not as linear. You play the close angles, and it works perfectly for Team Vitality. I kind of agree with Doran. I think this veto, these 3 maps, they're going to be comfortable on all of them.
100%.
And even with the weapons, still leading off with 4 players over toward the B site. So watch for them to be aggressive and continuously try and push up in toward water. That's rather evidence. NBK, therefore, on A, can't sit back, can't be passive, needs to go aggressive, get smoked out, gets information. Tizian already inside of the underpass is going to make it very difficult to rotate back around, but once they establish position, they are going to rotate Apex back over to the site. I'm curious to see, I mentioned this in casting with Henry a few times, a lot of teams that'll double push out toward middle and then rotate back through A. I think you should push a B player from that position if you're going to do it, because then you can rotate your A player back over after. So watch to see if the setup change based on rotations. Good shot, MBK. Scouts over top of Flower, clean headshot.
Vitality having not seen anything towards the B site, very happy to start rotating their way backwards. It's going to be Apex alone for the moment, but that's 3 out of 3 rounds for Vitality. Have that heavy B presence at the start. We've seen them explore out through Monster. This time it was inside of Short, where they did find no one for their efforts. But here comes Apex, back 10 in hand, spraying down nearly 2 players, but Tizian gets the best of him, just barely. Low health, 22 points combined between him and Xanteras. That frag could be huge had it hit the mark, but it finds Nex instead. So that's 3 softened targets and an eventual execution here as we hit that 30-second mark. Fortunately, only the Mac 10 retrieved. You know, best efforts thrown down by Big, and they have yet to reap the benefits. Iwu posted that retrieved AK, which once was in the hands of Xanteras, finds itself in the hands of another talented youngster. So there you have it, 2 kills for him, and the 3rd's all too easy. Once they were softened up, it was a matter of time. That's Vitality with 2.
And importantly, denying the bomb plant, because we're in the crucial stages still for money at this point. You give a bomb plant another $800, Tabson's at range to buy an AWP, potentially toss that over. So that limits them slightly. Still, AK is available. They'll go back to them as Vitality takes the lead. CT side, watch the aggression again. So that time it was a 4 over toward B with a rotation back on A. The scout from MBK got a headshot plus a tag. You mentioned it, softening them up, but now that the guns are different, I imagine the call of action will be as well, and it's Zaiwu that we expect to see over toward A more commonly, given with the AK-47 this time, but we'll have the AWP. That's where you want to be on the map. Still seeing some Augs.
Yeah, they float.
They'll be around.
They're not gone just yet. I mean, you know, our eyes have been opened, Matt.
I mean, forget Augs. That's not even the most shocking change the devs have made this year.
Yeah, you want to... I'm feeling Vertigo?
Vertigo, my goodness. Like, of all the maps you could have picked, like, okay. I mean, I'm open to change, don't get me wrong, but holy moly, I don't know that I would have expected Vertigo to be the one picked in.
Yeah.
This is smart. Xanteras knows they were out toward long, knows that they can see that position, but gets caught off timing. Everything Gompy gets the shot scoped in on the AUG. Once more. Smoke down. Xanteras nowhere to go. He actually died to a flashbang hitting him.
No, that's the flash assist.
Oh, assist. Right. Sorry.
Yeah.
There we go.
Talking about changes, Matt. Talking about changes.
I know. Yes. Plus fast assist. All right.
Surely they get rid of that eventually, though, right? I mean, I'm not one of those advocates for it. I think it's cool if your team can see it. I think it's great as us from the observing side.
But it gives away a lot of information.
Yeah, and I'm not about that.
I do agree with that, especially if you have, like, it doesn't even need to tell you how many players are there. It just needs to tell you who's there.
Yeah, that's so much.
If you have, like, a constant B player throw a flash on A all of a sudden, you're like, well, hang on a minute.
Hold your horses. But don't hold your grenades. Thrown over the top of the playground to find both Xanteras and Tabson. You know, a little chip damage, a warning sign. NBK puffs his chest and then walks back. He is that solo A player for the moment. So we've got Vitality, what seems now like 4 out of 5, if not all of these rounds, going for early B presence. Very wary of that hard push, but it's going to be big back into the default. NBK, despite dodging all these grenades, well, he's not going to shy off just yet. Sticks around a bit longer. Flashbang doesn't hit the mark, but the shots sure do. Xantares has that opening for big, and they're going to work this 5v4 as Apex gets into position.
Awkward smoke from T-side. That'll Gobby up behind the flowers, though, and it catches out this time in his favor. Apex jumping up. Last time, remember, he found Gobby with a nade in hand, but ZywOo close enough on the AWP, and he wants a little bit more. Will he get it? Oh my goodness, you'd expect that he would. As they fell off, unfortunately, he was not accounting for the fact the second player was inside of the bathrooms at Xantares, as RPK has to hold the lines very passively with the AUG. In fact, rotation already going back over toward B, and rightly so. Bomb heads that direction. They've got enough information. Why wouldn't it? Mid-round calls win games.
There you go. Excellently done by Tizian. Finds that opening to the B site. And I mean, this is big, maybe recognizing the fact Vitality are going heavy on B early. So you've got to get them off it. You need to give them a reason to rotate upwards. If NBK is afforded all that space inside of bathrooms for the opening minute, then they're never gonna leave. They'll dig their boots deep, and they will hold the line, but make them shaky. And sure enough, Tizian finds a wide open B bomb site for the taking. So there you go, big with a second on the board, and Vitality strapped for cash. I'll have some sprinkled all across, but all is fine. Both camps for the time being. What's it going to take to get Vitality off that B site early? Could this half force buy really do it? Just the two limited pistol players and NBK and ZywOo. This screams to me like when you give Zeus the AK but give Simple the P250. You know, what's ZywOo doing that CZ?
Sometimes the weird thing is the confidence that brews within the players that are the stars. They'll just say, I'll do it with the pistol. You guys take the guns, go ahead. T-side, you can justify it as well, because if he's not the entry fragger, you want to let someone try and enter, pick up the gun on the way through. But CT, it's a little bit more, I guess, ominous to try and spread the wealth and get the guns in positions. NBK already gone. And Xantares will follow it to find Alex.
I'm ready to eat my words here.
Watch. If he swings, he let it go. I thought he might try and deny the planter.
Still close enough for some damage, and maybe one back.
Got greedy for the gun. Greed will kill you. Just ask Thorin. Oakenshield, not Dunkenshield. I watched all 3 Hobbits today on the plane. All right.
All 3? Did you fall asleep once?
For like an hour and a half at the start, maybe 2. Time to watch 5 movies on that plane. It was a good one. It was a doozy. Did you watch any?
I remember I forgot to sign into Netflix, so I lost all my films.
We were on a plane with entertainment system.
Yeah.
There was like 100 movies
I started watching Anthropocene, and then Anthropocene. I don't know. It was all too depressing, Matt. It put me right to sleep.
Oh, well, that's perfect then for a plane.
Yeah, it was. But it was the thoughts of Counter-Strike that kept me going. Luckily, Shanghai studded in lights.
Yes, you've not been here. You've been to Hong Kong and you've been to Taiwan, but not Shanghai.
No, sir.
It's a cool city.
I'm excited for it. We went airport, hotel, work. And so doing work is that USP. My goodness, NBK 97 points of damage and almost the spam to find Xantares. Got them kind of boxed over towards this B site. And sure enough, this is it. This is finally where Vitality don't have players within B. Sure, they have this head stack in the back. RPK laying down some damage furthermore, but no openings just yet.
Good backside boost.
Oh my god.
Doesn't open you up to the left side as much. Means that you can focus your target without being spotted from an off angle, but nice Molotov counters off. In fact, gets both. RPK went down. Alex couldn't get away. That's a bit of a mistake. They didn't need to commit that much time inside of it, but they still have Apex on the site. ZywOo, he'll chime in as well. Bomb down, dropped inside of the pit. I'm not sure he's aware of that fact, though. Smokes himself in, expecting perhaps a flank, and had he known the bomb went down, may have elected to get a little more aggressive on an angle. Flash behind. 41 seconds.
So heavily banking that no one would push him in that time, and why would they? They want that bomb plant. Flare down to the pit, now spotted on the site. He's taking damage, and sure enough, that's all it's going to take to get him out of there.
Yeah, and he definitely didn't know the bomb went down there. He would have played that very differently, I think, at that point in time, knowing that they had to commit to grab it. So, tough position to spot from, but easily could have held the angle more aggressively. Either way, didn't have the information, and Big go back in the lead. Remember, they won the pistol, but got shut down immediately after by Vitality. 2 Augs at play, just to note. And 1 A1S. That's a change that I welcome with open arms. More ammo for that baby. Let's go.
You think it'll be enough? Just that extra 5 shots, the difference?
I think there was players that were on the fence before, and now they've just had that little bit of encouragement to go back to it and give it a try. Long term's always another thing to call, but yeah, I think it could be enough. And then now we're really opening up the CT side for options.
Yeah, for sure.
Because you've got
situational weapons.
A4, A1. Yeah, let's go. I'm down.
Got 6 primary weapons sprinkled across this buy. They do say variety is the spice of life.
They also say it's like a box of chocolates.
Ooh.
And I don't like spicy chocolates.
I don't blame you.
Zantara as they'll take out NBK. That's the start again to the big side. Zaiwu plays one and done. Truck side position inside of the side. Has to be very careful of this. Has backup though. They've already started to rotate toward the window, just down below, able to swing from either bomb site should they need to do so. And as we can see, he looks busy. Zaiwu tagged as well through the wall. Thankfully, for his sake, it was through a rather thick wall because he stays with 59 HP.
Ooh, next takes his head. Alex, he's going to be able to trade that one. Apex curious towards long. Unfortunately for him, walks into the scope of the Opper. And Alex, well, he's walking around this bomb site, making a ruckus, giving away cues, but the T's hold strong. And then Vitality's gone, down to the B bomb site. Both players, in fact, just hoping for that late execute. That's what we had seen Big do. Apply pressure to that A site, snuff out NBK, who has been inside of bathrooms, aggressively positioned. He's always that front runner. There tends to be players behind him, sure enough. And this time, Big will find out that there is no one left over. Vitality having gone down to the B bomb site, either to A, preemptively get ahead of an execution that they thought would come their way, or B, enable the save. Either way, they've got themselves 2 weapons at the end of this. 4 members up for Big, and no longer 4 rounds, but 5. 2-point lead and a spree on top of it all. Nice little comeback here on the offense.
Yeah, looking super solid, I have to say. Zaiwu again. Playing over toward the A site, doing what he can, but gets caught out early. Gets taken down, they trade it. Can't do anything with it. They've got to save the guns, keep an AUG in the hands.
It's been NBK inside of the bathrooms. You know, he's this kind of, he's the red flag, so to say.
Bathrooms are such like an important position on this map. People don't give them enough credit. Rain, Fur, those guys are the masters of it, and one of the reasons being is that they don't actually get caught there ever. They don't overcommit to fights. They don't peek unnecessarily.
Yeah.
If they do, they have someone immediately able to trade with them. That was something that even you go back to 2015, Fnatic was amazing at on this map. Push bathrooms, always have a cross set. So like, if one guy's in the front of bathrooms, the other guy's ready to peek out from the connector. If one guy's pushed out long A, the other guy's waiting at the flower pots. They were just so good at trading on the A side. But if you watch Fur and Rain, they do the opposite. They let one player play for information and then pull them in, bait them back.
Right.
Fallen's the one that often does it for Fur. Just lures them in, and he just sits and waits and just plays sound cues and information, and he's in a great position to try and push down into this position, the underpass, later on when they go B. So it's really viable if it's played right.
Yeah, this is one of the first rounds where we actually see some heavy connector presence out of Vitality. It is in one of these little half-buy situations, though, just like last time. You know, we had 3 players pushing long A. Anytime there's been a difference in the A setup from Vitality, it's not on the full-fledged buy round. But we'll see if they can draw them into Alex. He is standing on top of the shelving down in connector, has that angle towards party. And Zaiwu looking to rope them in. Nexus managed to get past, but it's then that Alex strikes. And Terra is the first casualty of the round. And while Alex occupies himself with the top of the staircase, we still have that dangerous Nova on NBK.
He's forward to the smoke, though. Tizian might have a chance to catch them off next. He's going to get NBK back. Nova can't do anything with it.
Knows there's another.
I'm surprised Tizian didn't commit to that. He knew the smoke was thrown out beyond him and just couldn't find enough toward the barrels. Nonetheless, this position could change everything. If they rotate back around, they check for him. They knew he was there earlier on from a kill, but gets a second, in fact, third, in the round, but the reload eventually gives himself up to Tapson. Still, though, a man advantage with 27 seconds, and they've rotated over toward B. Molotov's confirmed they're on that side of the map, and more importantly, Bomb has no time to go back over. They've pushed out in front of A to make sure of that. But still, shots need to be hit. 14 seconds. Bomb's coming in from short. It's got to be cut off. That's exactly what they want to do, but it gets taken down in the end. RPK, he went for it. He tried his absolute best. Tizian manages just to stay alive, and they try to spray through, but he'll stay in the end all the way up on 12 HP. Wow. They knew what they had to do. They knew that if they got the bomb down, they could have won the round.
Yep, it's entirely why they went all in on that. That's why they unload all of their utility just to get that entry. And RPK, given a chance at spraying down the bomb carrier, just the kill in and of itself would have won the round. There would not have been time to retrieve it and plant. ZywOo's flank even comes in so fast, but bomb plants in cover, of course. And as he charges forward, just trying to win the round on time, he exposes himself to that other player standing inside of short. And now we get the quadruple head boost. Oh, the totem pole has fallen.
Totem fail?
Yeah, total fail.
Oh, we're going all the levels here. They're not going on to the 4th level, though.
Whoop.
Oh, no. Sorry, Tabson.
All right.
Okay, all right. You know what? Just fool me once, shame on you. Fool everyone, and you still get the kill. That's not a saying.
You could try to make it one, but I don't think it'll catch.
Nah, don't worry about it. The point is, sometimes luck's just on your side. Still, though, they're 1-1. Traded back immediately. ZywOo, the one to do so. AWP on the CT side. Haven't seen it a lot because they were first holding on to their money. Remember, he had the AK that was on the CT side, so there's no need to get rid of an AK. You want to keep that headshot potential. By the time that you would have liked to see him upgrade to the AWP, their money was already ripped apart again. So, see if he can make good on it this time. And as mentioned, typically speaking, he's going to be over toward A with it. They change it up mid-round now because they want to try and have him sort of overwatch on the B side for the window. Alex somehow gets across so much utility, but they knew what his plan was all along. Whether they caught a glimpse or they just knew exactly what that flashbang meant, it now falls to ZywOo. And he's inside of the site, but he's got 2. Bomb goes down. Teammate helps him out, and Apex and MBK close it out for Vitality.
Beautifully done by ZywOo, just popping up behind the barrels, burning all the while, and yet still he kept it cool, calm, and collected. Shuts it down on the monster exit. The flashbangs were fantastic there for Big. I mean, you saw Alex first, blinded entirely as he tried to hop over to the other side of Monster. I mean, even using his own flashbang in the midst of this, and still it did not deter Big at all. They pushed through until they found ZywOo, who forcibly stopped them.
And that's a smart rotation, right? As we say, we know the op's going to want to play. It's going to want to play default on A. That's typical. That's traditional. Double op used to be prevalent. Not so much anymore. You want to be a little more, I guess, dynamic in the B site than just trying to pick toward the monster. He committed. They rotated over after those early picks. He knew the op was on that side of the map, and he just said, I'm going. And he got in behind the barrels. That was super good. Super sick to hit the second shot as well. Not a lot of movement left with the Molotov down, as it were, to his right. So I think that's what defines oppers. I hate to single out Draken. So much skill at times. And, hey, got one of the coolest plays ever on B side at Mirage. Beautiful 1 versus 3. He's had a lot of pressure moments, but oftentimes that's where he misses. World Edit's another one. That's when he misses. ZywOo seems to never miss in those situations. Yep. That's what makes him elite over top of even the world class.
See if he can do it again. Not in position, but Alex sure is. Just kind of tucked away in the corner. Bit of a gremlin-y play in that one. Catching Tizian and forcing Big elsewhere. They're going to charge headstrong into long, where they do find ZywOo, but his shot not able to take down a body. Next drop to about half. A reposition of the op in an attempt to catch someone in washrooms, where sure enough, Big will now have to clear. Not opting to go all in on long, but rather wanting to pinch. This will take time, especially if we have Vitality's members amidst this portion of the map. And sure enough, cutting them down one after another is ZywOo. Another peek, another frag. And like you said, he just doesn't miss.
No, he doesn't. Okay, well, sometimes he doesn't even have a chance to fire the shot because Gabi just absolutely obliterates him, unfortunately. Job done at that point in time. Next goes down. ZywOo even getting damage on that earlier. Yeah. Going to bring Vitality back to 5. Big still in a comfortable position. I shouldn't say... All right, hang on. Context of the game, comfortable position. Context of this round, they are not, because they don't have any money this particular time. But 6 rounds already T-side isn't the worst thing in the world, so they've got something to work with. Round 12, take the eco on the chin. They did buy out some pistols because I think it was Gobby that had 4K. Didn't quite catch who had what at the start of that. I think one of them did. I think it was either Gobby or Nex. So they can afford to do that. They'll build up this bonus now. But there's still time yet to find more gun rounds toward the end of the half. ZywOo, there it is, the aggressive play on A. We knew it was coming. Counter it, though. Counter it's not a bad way to try and go. You know they're going to retreat after finding the off shot. That's normal, so swing out from the stairs. Bomb down, though. And ZywOo, he's just going to buy time and space on top of it, but he's got to be careful of time and space to his right because it's been shifted in Gobby's favor. As Apex at least holds the line. Next, good shot. 1 versus 1.
Damn.
It's a 1 versus 2, but it was a 1 versus 1 because they were so distant. He actually had that isolated. He could have got a gun and made that a real round.
Yeah, I love the push there. Just screw the bomb, go and catch that rotator. Almost has RPK's head, in which case would have been a valiant 1v3 attempt. Nice little bit of aggression there from Vitality. You know, coming into this, when I saw Big starting to add rounds to the board, my big question mark remained on their A setups. You know, NBK in bathrooms was getting stale. Since then, we had that setup inside of Connector on the force buy. We've had an aggressive play off the anti-eco.
I think the big key in that is like NBK was getting caught a lot when ZywOo didn't have the op on A.
Yep.
As soon as he got it out, they went back to more of a default, a more traditional, all right, op can go aggressive, and then NBK plays more passive, although it's like a lot in the underpass, which isn't as normal. Shotgun again. He's just trying to do anything he can. Needs to soften them up and just maybe a few pelts will hit them in the back. Pelts. Shells.
Pellets.
Pellets.
Pellets in shells.
Pellets in shells. What's that? What's the other?
Slugs.
Not slugs, but there's also
Buckshot.
My gun specialist over here. Jesus. Sergeant Scrawny.
It's rural Canada, man. You should know. Here comes the trade frags inside. The B site bomb dropped in the midst of it all, and it is ZywOo who was not given too many targets. He still has 1 kill, of course.
Aren't you on West Island?
No, I live in Montreal now. But
because I'm rural. I'm like the Maritimes.
Yeah. Yeah, you have the rural province. I'm from a rural town.
Okay, all right.
Now I'm a city slicker.
Way to go, Montreal.
I've also never shot a shotgun, but nobody knew that unless I had admitted it.
I think I have. I did in Krakow last year. Me, Anders, and Paula.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can Paula pick up a shotgun?
Yes, surprisingly. You know, it was funny because Anders was like dead-eyed dick with the pistol, just absolutely nailing every shot. AK-47, same thing. He picked up the shotgun. I've never seen someone miss an entire target with a shotgun. Like, not even any of the, like, pelts, whatever you said. Pellets went anywhere near it. He just completely missed it. He beat us in the target score overall, but just the shotgun completely missed. I was like, how is that even possible?
Now I'm just picturing Anders holding a Glock sideways, popping headshots on a target. I wouldn't be surprised.
He's not bad, man. He was like straight headshots all day long.
If there's anyone who can wield a Glock, I feel like it would be him.
Well, no one this round will need to wield one because we've got full guns again for Big, as mentioned, timing off at 6-7. They still have the lead and now can capitalize further because ZywOo starts to get creative, unfortunately for him. He's got a few people expecting that door to be open and we're staring down the short pipe. And they're going to rotate back off this as well. This is smart. They know that ZywOo is gone. 2 things. 1, thin out the defense, but 2, he rotated over from A. He's normally over there with the AWP. Now they can start to take map control. Now they can start to push the defense back. Which, that's the theory.
Yeah.
Little do they know they've already done that just by taking down the op. There's really no one being aggressive on A.
NBK going to be happy to sit back, relax. Doesn't have a smoke. Using just the incendiary and frag grenade. We've got Vitality getting curious inside of short B. Eventually, that's either going to opt for one of their players to rotate all the way back off of B or go on the aggressive flank. But even a proactive flank here won't catch anybody. This is a curious situation. We've got NBK re-aggressing inside of the washrooms, but all the while, the entirety of Big, other than Tizzy and the anchor, are coming down from long. So it's going to be close proximity on this bomb site. Apex may not understand how many players are actually here because the numbers are strong. And the first kill belongs to NBK, so the attention's drawn away for Apex to activate. He's got 2 players that could easily line up, and they're just sandwiched. They're skewered, and they're screwed. 3 kills immediately for Vitality, and we're tied apiece at 7.
That's going to bring the money back down once more. No bomb plant, but there's still enough residual for both Xantares and Nex. Pretty good triangle setup. Just enough time as well with the smoke and the Molotov to get in behind the truck, and that pretty much screwed them because they had nowhere to dance around. And the second player back at the bank, they had all facets covered off. So 7-7 last round. Oh no. Why?
Sacré bleu.
Why have you done this? RPK's been knifed already.
Who's the culprit? We'll never know.
He's trying everything. He's got to be careful to get away here. RPK gone as well. Remember, although an AK got him, it wasn't a headshot. And he was down to 78 before that fight even began. Alex traded out by Tabson, not before we get some exchanges either way. And ZywOo's actually going to get Tabson back with an 8, so everything is going back and forth. ZywOo stays alive on 75 despite missing that shot on Monster. No span came through to hold him in place because of how much aggression there was towards short. That's aggression that's not required.
That's a big one, too. I mean, that B site is so wide open. And next, he's already confirmed that there's players on the A site, too. So at what point do they pull the trigger? They've got time to wait.
And they've got a smoke and 2 flashes as well on Xantares. Who's over toward B, where the bomb is. So, yeah, they can definitely execute on this. And they might want to use that smoke on entry. Try and make sure ZywOo's vision is very, very limited. Previous existing smoke on top of the site is already gone. This round should go Big's way. Strictly based on the fact that there was an overextension on B. Surprisingly, though, they haven't really taken advantage of the map control. Like you say, Nex had information that MBK was over here. Didn't really do much with it. In fact, he's going to call them. Perhaps he heard the rotation going the other way as well. That would be beneficial. I didn't catch how close he was when MBK decided to run out of the site. Runs back in. Nex has the shot anyway. 1-on-2. ZywOo to do it all. Knows bombs being planted. 10 seconds.
Wow.
He got there, but not enough of the shots to take down the planter, and now he's got all the work to do because it's still a 1-on-2, and they're both firmly looking his direction. It's 8-7, so close to pulling that into a 1-on-1.
Yeah, so close in the 1v1, and so close is what you can say about this half. I mean, back and forth at the start of it, and in the end, that 1-point difference, just barely. But it belongs to Big. They're going to have an advantage starting off their CT side. And what do we chalk this up to? I mean, incredible plays by ZywOo. We saw some high-pressure shots from him. Alex as well, getting in the midst of things, getting aggressive on short, being used inside of connector as kind of a protection to NBK. NBK really just trying to set up players more than anything throughout this half, whether that be on his forward A setups, down inside connector with the shotguns and multiple rounds. But at the end of the day, it's still Big, and most notably Nex at the top of the German scoreboard. Adding frags to the tally. Now we switch over. And again, we talked about the statistics of Overpass having recently been favoring Vitality in this matchup. So let's see what they have prepared for us. They said they didn't prepare specifically for this event.
I kind of agree with Maniac, though. If you've played 75 officials,
you should be ready.
Yeah, I mean, that's the nature of the beast these days. Everyone plays... Okay, not 75, but a lot of officials. These guys are in a precarious position because they had to go through the grind. They had to go through open qualifiers, minors, round of 24, round of 16, all the way in the major. And then you have the fact that they're also playing a lot of online matches to qualify for other existing tournaments that they wouldn't have had guaranteed and granted spots toward. There's no more... I shouldn't say there is no more. FPL is still predominantly online. That's on, or not FPL, excuse me. ECS, Facets League, the official league, not the Pug one. ECS is underway, but then obviously you've got EPL that switched over to a LAN system. They won't be part of that straight away. There's a lot of games to be played when you're in the position of not being an Astralis or a Liquid who's already qualified or invited to most of those events. You've got to do all the legwork down below as well.
Heavy lifting.
Heavy lifting, yeah, big time. I mean, that's why for a team like Big, who had an incredible run and got to a Legends position in Krakow and then carried that over, they've now lost that and have to go back to the minor. They are now in a position where in the future they're going to be playing a lot more games, and there's a lot more pressure on those games because if you don't maintain your top 8 spot at a major, if you don't maintain some of the upper echelons of CS and some of those bigger tournaments, others aren't going to consider inviting you.
Right.
It is a knock-on effect of being at the top all the time, that's how you're going to be at other events.
Yeah, look what Ence's performance have done for them already. Right?
Well, that's the perfect example the other way. Exactly. You know, you go to Blast Pro, now you're here, suddenly you're on everyone's radar. I mean, it's out of sight, out of mind. Unfortunately, it's very, very easily forgotten when you're not playing all the time and at the top level.
Funny enough, Ence obviously the reigning champions of StarSeries.
It's a good point.
Sergey, the last MVP.
Yep, that's absolutely true. Rated number 3 in the world. I mean, the major has a huge weighting factor on that, and there wasn't a whole lot of events leading up to it, but still impressive nonetheless. And yeah, I would put them somewhere probably in the top 5 right now, just based on the major performance. Tizian, he's going to try and hold off inside pillar. Apex is not quite aware that he's there, but he's got to swing now. Good timing on the flash. He'll find him fully blinded as Gabi threw that in for him, but RPK gets him back, not for long. So Antares holds it off. It's 2 pistols to big.
Yeah, that was a slow play from Vitality, just inching their way forward with the map control, get into short, burst the B bomb site, but it was within the smokes, within the flashbangs that they end up losing their lives. Really just Tizian, the big difference maker, working around that pillar, popping bodies, making the most of those minute moments where he knew he could take effect. Nice to see teammates supporting one another down on that B bomb site. Things can get hectic real quick. Last round's a prime example of it. Frag deep. Ooh, poor RPK. If it's not a teammate's knife, it's an early frag.
Yeah.
Dropping him to 38 this time, but
poor guy.
So quickly already pushing forward towards the bathrooms, running into the MP7 of Gob and the scout of Tabson. There's the bomb gifted over, and it doesn't seem as though Vitality are going to find much in this round, if anything at all. Not a single point of damage dished back the other way.
Tabson trying to do what he can. He doesn't have to do anything. Gabi's got it instead. This time, Big convert the second round. Remember, they won last pistol. They went down 2-1. Now, on CT side, they can hold their own, but not a lot of purchasing going into the last round for Vitality. And as such, we've got AK-47s. So many changes. Like, we used to talk about lack of change in Counter-Strike.
Yeah.
My mind is like melting right now because we went from a major economic change, which we've done now again, to AUGs coming in, to Vertigo coming in. So, like, next year we could be playing Counter-Strike 2. That's all I'm going to say. Like,
coming.
Change is coming, guys.
Ooh, does it get away? No. No, he does not. Tabson blasts ZywOo to smithereens, thanks to the flash of God B. Little icing on the cake. Mr. Schmidt gives chase through bathrooms. Nobody here, in fact. Closest player is going to be that one positioned up on long. Tabson with the scout. Reeling his way backwards to join his leader, Gobby. Still working this MP7. Already has like 4 kills on it in the previous round anti-eco. Now what can he do? At least catching NBK, but the flashbangs rain over and the frags go the way of Vitality. Even keel to the 3-3. They're going to go for the boost over the wall. Try to obscure this bomb plant, but it's over on truck, so it's certain to go down, just like RPK. At least that boost still nets them a man advantage, a little bit more to work with, not to mention got that health disadvantage of Alex playing against the French.
But he's been very clever with it because he's gotten very close on an off angle inside of the smoke. So Antares is predicting it, but couldn't find it. That gives Alex the shot. Now he can vanish inside of the stairs. Apex does the rest out front.
Beautiful. Just drawing big inwards on the retake. I love that you get that ZywOo positioning close towards bank. Xanterra's so close to predicting that close corner. And if that happens, then it's a 3v1 versus Apex. He's not able to kind of, skewer and crossfire those rushing players because he would have been all on his own. So, little detail wins the battle. Gets Vitality their round. Buyback from Big. Double MP9, AUG, AWP, M4. What's that leave them with? Plenty of utility. And a solo Xanterra's inside of connector. NBK walks around and gets the best of him. He didn't even land a shot. No damage done. Alex and ZywOo just tear straight through the short control, and B bomb site is open for the taking. This round is done.
Absolutely so. And save required if you're Big. You've got an AWP. You've got an AUG, so we get back to within 1. This one's going to go the distance. There's no question this series was going to be close. Proving to be exactly that so far. The lights will go out in Shanghai before this series ends.
Do they turn them off at night?
Yeah. So if you're, well, not like every single light in the city, but like the main skyline when you're on the Bund looking over toward the Pearl and the tower. And they shut those down, I think, at like 11:30, maybe? I can't remember. It's like 11:30, 12, somewhere in there.
I mean, that's reasonable.
Yeah, it's crazy, though, because all those people, are like thousands of people, like too many people. And they shut them off, and it's just like, boom, everyone's gone. It's like, that's one way to do crowd control.
Get them out of here. I'm used to Montreal, where things don't turn off.
No, that's true. In fact, they don't turn on until well after midnight.
Yeah.
If I know anything about Montreal.
It's when things turn on and turn up. Like Vitality have in these most recent rounds, closing the gap and nearly securing themselves double digits, looking to join their big brothers on the other side of the coin, who still hold on to, of course, the 2 weapons saved from the previous round. Take note of that. The AUG and the AWP, and a heavy presence towards this B bomb site. 4 members immediately. And because Xanterra saw nothing towards A, going to fall back slightly. Not too far, as to still keep that first warning sign. But we saw a round like this won by Vitality when they were on the CT side, directly following the first pistol. So you cannot sleep on the close corners of this B bomb site. And the boost! Oh, the boost! It's so good!
He goes back for it. I wasn't sure Gabi was going to. He actually was just up on the wooden boards, not even boosted up at the wall. That was just fortunate timing to catch off. He was spotted, but as soon as he realized and shot back, and he went for the second kill. Balls on him to do so. 75 HP survives with ZywOo, though. They haven't accounted for this. His teammate's going to take the angle. That's going to give him a clean entry, but he was a little bit over-committed away from the window. Still pulls it back, keeps his aim in line, and suddenly the advantage back to them. Smokes down Molotov deep. This puts Gabi trapped in the corner. Nowhere to go. Zantara's already trying to rotate back around toward him as well. And do they go for this at 11-9? AWP picked up for Zantara. That might be their signaling to get out. Because there's no kits.
Yep, they're done.
That's so spectacular from ZywOo. Great timing. They just overlooked Monster altogether. Gets around, gets a flash, but nearly missed because he was overcommitting to the further player away. But then identifies that and gets both. It's fine to identify and get one. I would have called that acceptable. The fact that he snapped back to window again was just incredible.
Such a narrow angle to be trying to hit that shot, and sure enough, he does it. Hope that's what we've got queued to the replay. No, the boost, even better.
It was a boost, you're right. He was forward of the boards, wasn't he?
Look at this, 3rd bullet in. 1, 2, 3, 4. Boom! Right between the eyes. Fare thee well. And I do think that if the follow-up Molotov with smoke combo up in the heavens wasn't there, then maybe we get a re-aggression. AUG and an AWP in the heaven, peering down into the bomb site. Tantalizing. But, alas, we are back into the gun rounds for both sides, and this looks like a heavy B. Tizian's going to have to be laying down that flashbang, but he himself was blinded, so he's overwhelmed immediately. Xanterra's just shy inside of the water, looks away, bad timing for him, and RPK gives cover. Despite the damage going back the way of Vitality, they pick up every single kill on that B bomb site. And they forced the same situation. 2-man save.
That next flash needed to come sooner.
Yeah.
Zantaras was waiting to get flashed in. He wasn't even looking to dodge theirs, and unfortunately it just wasn't in position in time. And he gets absolutely wrecked. That gives up the round. Nothing they can even do at this point. They'll save the AUG and the AWP again, and they can't even really afford to be aggressive. Thankfully, Alex will give himself up, but that just confirms exactly where they both are. They can afford to just go hunting at this point.
Yeah, the French are coming. Absint's angle should cut down anyone from spawn who actually don't want to force this fight. It's going to be only Apex to try his hand. And unsuccessful.
Oh, I thought Gabi was going to get him. He didn't. That would have been cheeky. Last bullet shot in the round.
Let's take a pause. Catch your breath.
Okay.
ZywOo's still up there. I mean, it's almost to be expected at this point, right?
Man, the guy is just ZywOo, simple, cold Zera,
Sergey? Are you not
twist.
sold?
Need an in-game leader, don't I?
Okay, I wasn't sure what you were listing.
Fallen.
That's a good choice.
Yeah.
That's a very,
There
very
you go.
good choice.
That's my dream. That's my super team.
You know who I would maybe put in there for IGL?
Who?
Little Alexi B.
You are really on the end type, aren't you?
I mean, my voice may or may not be in their music kit.
Oh, okay, I get it. Are you getting royalties for that? Yeah. They wouldn't give caster packs, but they'll just go ahead and fire that one out there. You're not bitter. Hashtag not bitter, Val. Yeah, I mean, Alexi B, I'm not discrediting him at all. He's done a phenomenal job in this role, considering his age and what they're working with and how they've risen to such great success. But yeah, Fallen's just tried and true.
He's legendary.
Good push in the underpass. Problem is, in doing so, and that occupation has left B-side wide open, aside from sandbags, and I don't think they're fully aware of it. They've smoked off Tizian. Unfortunately, the smoke alone does mean that even if he was there trying to be clever the whole time, they're eventually going to look, because if he rotated back, the smoke would be about the same timing, about 15 seconds. So the element of surprise was long lost. But the bomb is as well. It's down inside a pit, and Tabson, he's picked up the AWP, brought it over, and brought this down to a one-on-one. RPK still has to clutch this back. And Vitality looked comfortable, finally. It suddenly is anything but. Tabson's gone to the window as well. AWP up here. This could be huge. Oh, or is it RPK? Second shot, Tabson tried to repeat. I think he walked into it.
No head armor, I believe. So the one
you
bullet
can hear it.
death, yeah. The skull pop. So
graphic.
But regardless, I mean, damn big. That was a hell of an attempt on that B bomb site. All things considered, just getting the best of Vitality, who went in on an execution, didn't seem to expect too much once they saw that it was relatively clear, but big, they just rotated in so fast and just threw themselves against the wall that eventually something stuck. Couldn't finish it, however. Tabson back on the op. As the door gets blown open, now has to consider both avenues. So he'll smoke off one, and then consider the third. That possibility of an aggressive A setup, but Vitality, not the case. They are very patient here in the 23rd round. There it is.
We snapped to it so quickly.
Just opened up all the options for Tabson, you know, kind of put him in the center, realized that he wasn't being pressured from any avenue, and he just kept his head on a swivel long enough to get the 5v4. Now we've got Vitality wasting utility. Not that they realize, because he is gone.
Got to clear those corners, though. And this will give them back a little bit of map control. Apex gone with RPK and Alex tagged. Finally, Big looking to stabilize at 45 seconds to go in the rounds. Spot drop. They've got 3 more smokes yet to work with. I take that back. I think one's in the air now, as well as a few flashes. Incendiary still to work on the site, but that's if they get them deployed in time, because already they're losing men. NBK with 3 on the entry. He is a natural born killer. And he might just take the round back, because suddenly it goes from a 5-on-4 to a 4-on-2, and he's done all the work.
And that's it. That's all we've had from Vitality at times. Just such a successful endeavor in opening up a round that they're leaving the remnants of Big to save instead. This is the 3rd time at least where we have 2 survivors on the CTs just trying to hold on to guns. Vitality swift on their execution. Cleaned the commitment. Making things difficult for Big. This T-side starting to tear its part away. Really is just NBK. I mean, superb entry in that round. And every once in a while, that's what you're going to get out of Nathan. Kind of like an Apex, you know? Can win a game single-handedly at times, but you just shouldn't expect it to be consistent considering his role. And NBK, the exact same. But when it happens, oh, is it a thing of beauty? The B site has fumbled once more. It's going to be the implications of this. How's Big's money? I see a vocal God B.
He tends to do that during timeouts.
Now he's rehydrating, which is also just important.
Yeah, get it in there. You're still bloated from the plane, still dehydrated.
Okay, speaking of water and the plane, this is the first time on a plane where I asked the stewardess for water to fill my water bottle. You know, I don't like to waste cups.
Sure.
So, please, ma'am, would you mind filling this? And she did it about 3 times until she finally just handed me
the entire bottle,
the 1.5 liter of bottle, and just said, "Here you go, sweetheart. Do it yourself."
Was it the one with the glasses?
Yes.
Yeah, she was really funny.
Yeah, it was her.
I went back to the back, and she was like, this coffee's stale. Let me get you some new one.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, perfect. That's what I like to hear. Just all the coffee, please. Yes. Well, back to it.
Fresh-faced and rehydrated. Big. Not too refreshing of a look here. Double Deagle 5-7, lackluster nades. But they've got that double AUG. And we saw Tabson nearly win a round when all they had was 2 primary weapons. So let's see if they can do it yet again. Oh, the players have moved past him. He doesn't realize. And Alex turns back just in time to grab 1, but Gabi grabs nearly 3. Apex challenging the A site and getting the best of him. Zanteres does have the chance to reposition closer, but just that Deagle in hand. Where's the AUG? It's on Tizian. And he is that last rotator, the man coming around through bank. Next, burned off of Dumpster. Zanteres wants to activate as now that 1 weapon's down. He could stop the planter. Does he do it? No!
Oh,
he gets the kill. But
He
too
got
slow.
Yeah, he got him right after. I thought he actually had a chance to fire at the shoulder, maybe spam through with the Deagle, but he's looking for that one-hit wonder. The problem is now they're outside of the smoke, and as soon as he couldn't find the planter and the bomb was down, they knew exactly what they had to do. Just hold it long, no need to overstep, and it's 14-10. Remember, big lead on the T side at half. Vitality just killing it this half. It was 8-7, Big got 2. Vitality's got a bunch maths in a row. 7 in a row. Nailed it.
Well done.
Thanks, man.
This is just going to be a B explode. Smoke scares them off, but it doesn't seem likely. Although Big already have that heavy presence inside of short. So if Tizian can skewer this, they'll have themselves a fantastic crossfire. How much can they hold? Wow, nice headshot. And it's only that 1 frag grenade kill of NBK that really gets anything going for Vitality. A team kill amidst it all makes things look scary for only a moment, but it's Tizian with 4 frags, 3 of which against his enemies, to get Big that 11th round. So 3-point difference. Vitality, plenty of cash though. They're going to be content to still buy until they can close this. Luckily for Big, they've survived that first economic storm and find themselves well equipped as well. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we just get guns and more guns until this first map closes. Hits the mark.
Yep. Sometimes it's a little bit...
It's one of those nades you got to keep an eye on.
Yeah, most people get that one pretty accurately, like more so than people even miss in the window in Mirage, but sometimes I'm not sure until I see it hit. That one looked a little low. It'll do, donkey.
Ooh, nice
so will
spam.
that from Zantares. After winning the last round, they want to step up in this one. And Vitality find themselves a man down early. Now, don't let that dissuade you. Because, remember, they were last time and NBK found 3 in a row. The problem is they've lost a lot more HP as RBK gets sprayed. And Apex controls Monster. He gets Tizian down and wants to rotate off this. If he can keep them playing, if he can keep them moving on the B site, that buys space on A for his teammates. Space in which it appears Alex wants to investigate.
Oh, man, I'm a much bigger fan of the way Apex plays a T-side Monster and B-site than he does on the CT side. We saw this same thing, you know, getting aggressive and whatnot.
That kill on Alex actually benefits Team Vitality, though, because they just discovered the ops on A.
Right.
They haven't seen the other player. The second that came in, the bomb was waiting the whole time at water. He just goes, right, I'm over to board B. Done. So now they're inside of the site and they have the advantage. It's low HP, but they're up against an AWP, which doesn't matter what they're working with. If they hit shots or get hit, it's all the same result. And now they've got the information for exactly where Gabi's coming from. Double up that Molotov, buy some more time. That's all they need to do at this point, ride this out. Gabi does have a kit, keep that in mind.
Got that smoke as well if he wants to nullify short. Could go for the desperate spray, but instead he'll walk away with that op in hand. So this, to me, goes back to, like, remember when Apex plays that B bomb site CT side? At times he kind of walks through Monster, I would argue, too aggressively. But you get these sorts of players, you know, they play the same position on both halves, they play this side of the map, and I think that this is a prime example of when it goes well. He just creeps his way out of Monster, gets that 1 pick on the B bomb site, knowing, of course, that the players from Big that were inside of short who had just successfully sprayed into connector were definitely going to be retreating. So he finds that timing, that transition period, and then goes one better. And then another. I mean, a 4K on the round. Almost the ace as he challenges through that final Molotov. But just repositions so passively back behind barrels. Re-aggresses again inside of their face over and over. You know, we had NBK tear through that B site just a couple rounds ago with a multi-frag of his own, and this time it's Apex's.
Yeah, and Zaltaris get caught out hard there as well, so they get one round and then they get hit. I was about to say with the reset, it's not the same anymore. I know.
Yeah,
it's going to take me a while to get used to this, and it's something I actually want to pay close attention to. In theory, we should have more gun rounds, but we also potentially have... This case is different because neither team had the money established.
Yeah.
So it's not like a reset potential is a massive thing here. But potentially less comebacks. So right now at 15-11, if Big 1-1 and then reset Vitality or vice versa was reset, they'd be out of it. This time, it goes both ways, I guess, because now Big has a chance to buy again and be back into it, whereas before they would have just been broken and crumble. I've got to look at it more closely because there's a lot of theory crafting that people have gone into the new money system, but we need to see it play out.
Big. They've been conditioned to hit up this B site heavy. Spam's been great at times. Smoke goes down to block off the boardwalk. An additional smoke from Zywoo. Should be effective on barrels, but Tabson, well, he's going to play just next to the pillar, peeks into the scope of Zywoo, and this is going to be an aggressive gunfight to the end. 2v2, turn 2v1 with just Gob B standing. And he's going to rotate in from Graffiti, but, oh, Matt, they forgot the bomb. It's going to have to cross back.
It's going to have to cross back against an AWP in Gob B's hands, which isn't always the...
Oh, it goes the long way.
Yeah, it has.
Yeah.
That still comes with a risk of watching window. But he'll make it work and doesn't reveal himself until now. Molotov down, Gobby knows he can swing wide, try and find the angle. If RPK goes back up, he could give himself up. And if he hunts down to try and deny this bomb plant, that's exactly when Apex gets the kill.
Yeah.
Done. Game over. It's going to be a Vitality taking map 1, 16-11. Great turn of events for them on the T side. Remember, they were down 8-7 at half. 10-7, the lowest they fell, and then they turn it all around.
Impressive. I mean, justified here on Overpass. This is what we'd hoped from Vitality. We said that they had that bit of momentum as of late, that they had good form, and they definitely showed it throughout that second half. I mean, just took control of the game, cracked open that B site, even to the point where we had in this final round of 4 players stack up from Big. I mean, they knew what they had to do in terms of a defense, but it was a matter of holding the line as opposed to dropping the ball, and that's what we saw. Balls.
They were very dropped. Yeah. Look, I think Vitality was my favorite going into that, but coming out the way that they did after the first half, I wasn't super convinced. Yeah. I think that they struggled, like you said, to get the establishment and the control of bathrooms. Once they got that op moving, once they got Zywoo on, like, whoa, what a different game that was. Even though they didn't win that half, you could just see how aggressive he was being and how dynamic he was being. I think if they could establish that money a little bit earlier, get him onto the op, he held the AK, you probably find, I would say, 2 to 3 more rounds, and that game's closed a lot sooner. So even still, a 16-11 coming back from the depths of a CT side, that's pretty impressive.
I'm impressed. It's what we've come to expect, I think, with Vitality, right? A little bit of form here in StarSeries, showing that they do still compete. But folks, that's just map 1. We've got the second coming your way shortly. You better not go too far.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to cs.money. The trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro.
update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles, any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase. Place your bets at Gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at Gg.bet.
Yes, that's right. We're back, and it does look like the French are too. They have actually come out here on top over Big Clan in the first map. Overpass going their way. My name is Trey Saranthus. I will be host here for the rest of the day alongside of Maniac and Mr. Shields, also known as Thorn, the artist formerly known as Duncan. Guys, right off the bat, Vitality looking pretty strong.
There's a reason they picked Overpass,
Yep,
and you
definitely.
saw it wasn't the greatest map for the guys from Big in this incarnation. It was a pretty good map for them last year. Great pick from Vitality. I know from the first half you might have thought, oh, they're in with a chance here, Big. Actually, that was absolutely fine. Like, as you say here, they didn't have a whole lot on T-side. Like, this looked a bit desperate, I have to say, and they were hoping fragging would win them out, and that was not the story overall for them.
No, definitely. I mean, the first half looked like, as you said, Big maybe could have, surprised Vitality on that map. But the problem was their defense. Like, Big's defense had way too many holes in it, and probably the B side was a problem. Like, Vitality just kept on going B and B again, just different timings, different executes, maybe fake a little bit on A, just go back to B again. And that really is a sign to basically the limits of Big on that map. When you have your enemy or your opponents running one tactic over and over and over again, you can never find a solution that is strictly a limit that you have on the map.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like if you've only watched games and you're just watching for the frags, you'll think of all the classic like B executes with Molotovs and smokes. It's like it's a great like force buy rush round. But I always tell people this: if you can't establish presence on A at all, it's a nightmare trying to do that because you're gonna have 3 people there every time. You're not gonna be able to get through that nice defense where you got the 1-man rotating. There's 2 people caught there. The Molotov pushes them back. So that's just a sign of desperation on this map for me. It tells me they didn't have a lot in the tank.
No, definitely.
No, and in terms of opening duels, it was Big Clan that really kind of came out on top, seemingly, according to the statistics.
They couldn't close out any rounds.
Yeah,
no, that's the thing.
That was a lot of the problem here. And
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
also leaned towards that B site was something that they could never really lock down in addition to close down.
No, absolutely. They were many times in a situation where the beginning of the round definitely was in Big's favor. Maybe the trade chaos was there. They had some positional advantage on the map. But somehow Vitality found their way back into rounds where they had no business winning. And I think that explains the whole story. Because the first half was 8-7 Big, and then Vitality just takes the whole thing 16-11, 16-10. So definitely Big. They were just not good enough on the map, and sometimes you just have to say as it is. It wasn't. I think it wasn't a case of clutches. It wasn't the case of round that could have gone either way. I think it was a pretty clear-cut victory from Vitality, and hopefully Big have or can show a better face on the second map.
Yeah, well, one player that we did kind of tout in the beginning would be that of Zywoo, however you want to say it. The reality is this: this kid can play.
How do they
can
say it
frag.
in the French scene, by the way? Zywoo or Ziwoo?
In French, we say Zivo. No,
Zivu?
Zivo. We say Zivo in French.
I don't know.
Well, they're going to be saying his name a lot more because this guy consistently does big things
Sure.
over there for Vitality.
I mean, what has always impressed me about Zivo is that his ability to make the right decision.
Yes.
So that's one thing
Game
to be
sense is
extremely
very
good
good.
with the crosser placement and the aim. Sure, he definitely has that. But he, to me, it looks like someone who's with 20 years experience playing
Yes.
Counter-Strike when he only has a few years and a few months at the top level. So that is what is really impressive, and I think is also a reason why he's actually consistent. That because he's not relying on having a crazy good day where he just out-aims everyone. He just makes the better decision 9 out of 10 times, and that is really impressive to me.
And this is actually, I'll give credit to God B. Obviously, he's a player that many think is like skill-wise, he's supposed to be washed up. You know, he's not the player he was in 1.6. Unfortunately, though, I've noticed this trend. Anytime God B is like the top fragger for big, that is a terrible sign because that means, first of all, the big hitters didn't go off. And secondly, if you see how he often plays in the game, because he's a guy who wants to switch it up mid-round, he's not the guy going in first all the time. So what that usually means is he's hanging back, he's getting kills at the end of rounds, but he's not going to win all these 1v1s and clutches. You saw the end of the half was just him in impossible scenario after impossible scenario that you couldn't win. So Tabson with the AWP, he certainly can be a good AWPer. My problem with him is he's more of like the consistent, like stable AWPer. Smoothie was the guy who would pop off with the AWP, have the big impact kills, win you around. Actually, I thought in this game, Xantar was a little bit subdued as well. Where was all the big fragger from this guy?
No, we haven't seen it. I mean, Overpass was never really one of these maps for Xantaris. I don't think it was a good map for Space Soldiers back then, so we should see more in the rest of the series. But I do agree with your point. Tabson can definitely play the AWP, but there is a big difference between being like a positional AWP and you pick it whenever you feel like it, maybe on your position, or have that responsibility to always play it on every map and need to AWP. That is truly two different worlds, and I think Tabson is actually suffering a little bit from the position that he has to fill in now, because with the rifle, I will state it again, he was one of the best.
Yes. Well, speaking of responsibilities, Duncan, I'd like to pass this off to you.
Going to chop this up, are we?
Yes, we're going to chop it up as it is. Duncan, please read the proceedings.
Right. You can trade all unwanted skins via CS Money bot, so it must be a lot of Bisons on there, I assume. Just 3 clicks. CS.money bot for trading your skins. So keep passing it down.
Yeah,
I think he has his own.
I have my own too.
Yeah, I think you had prepared something, I guess, extra special for the
yeah,
crowd.
Exactly. I wanted to talk about Hellcase, right? Hellcase. Now you're able to pick any cell containing skins and actually determine what you win, which is awesome, right? You can choose what you want. I would go for the Medusa AWP, just to say.
That's your thing?
Yeah, that's my thing, right? A little bit. Never been an AWPer. But still, if you want that new skin, right, you can open cases and you can use the SLTV code for extra money on your account, and also SLTV25 to get that 25 sweet refill bonus, Tress.
That's right. Official partners of StarSeries and Star Ladder. But as this show continues, so does this best of 3. We're going to be going into Dust 2 next, guys. This could be actually a very, very heavy bout here. I feel like both these teams coming into Dust 2 should have a little bit of confidence on both sides, disregarding even what we just saw from the Big Clan on the first map.
This is where I think we're going to find out if Big is actually going to be a legit team or if they're going to fall apart. Because on this map, the old version of Big was money. This is a team where they had great utility usage. Early on, they had a lot of teams scared on this map. Obviously, it's a map that they were playing against the likes of the FaZe, kind of going head-to-head. And they were showing it's not just a map about fragging. If you can actually run the game properly, you can get a lot of things done on it. But Vitality, this is one of their home maps. They love this map. Zeru's going to go off on this one, I'm pretty sure. So I think it's the challenge is all on Big.
No, I agree. And seeing how the individuals from Big fared on that first map, I'm a little bit scared for them, because they're going to need to be activated on Dust 2.
Yeah, I mean, Dust 2, they kind of have to wipe the slate clean of everything that just transpired on Overpass. They're going to get that chance, and we're going to give it to them right after we go to a quick break. So make sure you don't go anywhere. We've got the second map of the series coming your way when we come back. See you there.
Place your bets at Gg.bet. Most popular esports titles. Deposit with convenient payment options. Cool mini games. And 24/7 support for players. Sign up now for the best esports bets at Gg.bet.
Cool, right? Want to know where I got it? Well, look, go to CS.money. It's a trade platform and a marketplace at the same time. Just choose, click, and get. Good luck, bro. Take that. Yes. Hells yes. Armed and dangerous. dangerous. Oh, hell yes.
Hellcase. Big update and new features in the case battles. Updated and convenient interface with new options. Up to 4 users can participate in one battle now. Create and customize your battles any number and any type of cases. Choose the number of participants and invite your friends with a unique link. Watch the best drop and win everything. Don't miss epic battles on Hellcase.
Such a splendid city, that Shanghai. Relatively new. Do you know? I think it was 1993. The Pearl TV tower went up, the one with the two balls. Didn't actually mean to say it that way, but you know the one I mean.
Yeah.
The tall, skinny thing with the two balls. Okay.
Yeah.
That whole side was just like trees, and now in 2019, it's like one of the most populated sky rises in the world, with the most amount of skyscrapers. Second tallest building in the world, obviously Shanghai Tower there now. And then if you go to the Shanghai Tower, they have a time lapse of all the buildings being built, and it's just like Pearl, well, it's like fishing docks. They go all the way back. But then it's like the Pearl Tower, nothing, boom, everything. It's like, what? So this whole city's kind of new and modern. It's kind of cool.
I can't wait to see it in the day. It was a little dark out in the taxi.
It's true.
So
there's a lot of lights here, though. It's not that dark.
I'll get back to you tomorrow with my opinion.
LEDs and some flashing and excitement. It's like an amusement park.
Do you expect there to be more or less excitement in this next map compared to the Skylines?
I think
Shanghai?
more. You've got Dust 2 coming up. You've got ZywOo. You've got a French team. You've got Gobby and Big. This is going to be a fun game. I think this could have all kinds of explosion on it.
I think Vitality are going to tear right through them.
All right, then.
I
Thanks
feel this
for,
way.
Giving us something to work with there.
I feel this way because of, first of all, ZywOo, and secondly, ZywOo again. But on top of it, we had Apex and NBK, I think, coming to life in certain key moments of that last map that just makes me feel and solidifies my opinion that like Vitality are just more on point at the moment. You know, Big haven't gotten the ball rolling, and that's unfortunate for them because they did seem to be, you know, outclassed in the second half of Overpass. It looked so promising. 8-7 after their initial T side. You'd think you'd switch and have the easier of the two jobs, but that was not the case. They'll find themselves on the offense to begin this map as well. And Vitality will quickly throw some numbers over towards Long, where sure enough, Big have brought the bomb. Tabson leads the charge, and off of the flashbang, tries to peek out. There's that counter flash, though. And as RPK looks to lock down the doors, his teammate, caught out in the open, has to give him a little bit of space, but they're so good at just snapping back the heads. There you have it. 3 kills. Looking for the 4th one. They'll find it. It's a complete collapse on long doors for Big. That spells disaster. Santera's going to be flanked as well. Poor guy never had a chance. And the pistol belongs to Vitality.
That's a good sign for Vitality. Remember, they did not want either of the pistols on Overpass. So starting off on a better foot forward, see if they can convert. Lots of range to cover on Dust 2, so you don't necessarily want to commit to SMGs. They have done so, I dare say, with 3 of them, but they do still have a FAMAS and a Scout. On the opposing side, no bomb plant, no money. No need to get greedy. They'll keep it on the Glocks. 1 P250 picked up for Tabson because that's Tabson, and he likes to do things like that. I'll allow it because I'm a good dad.
Dadicist.
That's my dad's username, yes.
Is it actually?
Yeah, it totally is.
My dad can't figure out the internet.
Oh, well. Mine has.
Oh, Alex. There's that off chance he just takes a bunch of Glock shots to the face, but no, he'll get back. Put down the Molotov as ZywOo puts down the lead. Picking himself up a couple kills, dropping the bomb in the process. So the conversion round looking all right, but this Deagle makes it a little dangerous, and so do these dinks. Apex takes some substantial damage, but he also takes a couple lives with him as Vitality take a couple rounds.
They will indeed, so converted, and still without a bomb plant, they'll be sitting on the range of AK-47s. No AWP available, $50 shy of bringing it out. Not that I think that they would have in round 3. They go glass cannon, T-side, not necessarily required.
What is this?
There's 1 AK and then a full utility buy? Okay.
Some Deagles sprinkled in there?
I guess they want to get to a full gun round. They want to try and get to the AWP sooner. I'm surprised they didn't just go in on this and... Okay, sure. I thought they'd let the bonus do more of its own work, but they want to play
some games.
Well, potentially give up 3 rounds, but then be in a position to try and shut it down on round 5. Whereas if you lose now on the bye, you give up 4-0 no matter what. So I understand the mindset, but it's an interesting call. It's a Gobby call for sure. He's done some money and math craft on this one. Do you remember Math Blaster?
No.
Oh, yeah, you're pretty young, aren't you?
A few years younger.
Yeah, it was like a little video game where it was like 2D and you had to do math to beat it. It was like
games when I grew up.
Homework in disguise.
Games when I grew up were just fun.
Oh, okay, yeah, cool, man.
They took out the numbers and added guns.
Yeah. Well, back when I was a kid, I had to walk uphill both ways to school. All right, so
back in my day.
Yeah,
you're not that old, Matt.
You'd be surprised. It's actually today marks the 1-year anniversary from my stream. So this is my Twitch stream this year, and tomorrow or today in Shanghai time, I'm actually Dirty 30. I am 3 decades old, and yeah, probably gonna call it there. So thanks everyone. It's been fun. We'll see ya.
Well, I'm happy to
somewhere
be
else.
I guess I'm the lucky one that gets to finish this ride with you.
Yeah. And something.
Let's get weird.
Let's go. Wow.
Big
don't have to tempt me with a good time.
We got the Molotovs. It's not going to displace anybody, but okay. Hell of a dink. That AK is yet to fire off, and the bomb plant seems to be free for it. This is an interesting situation. We've got Apex trying to throw himself into it, but the bomb is down. Take note of that as he dishes out the damage, and the CTs flood forward. The kills come in, but Nex responds. That AK is working wonders for the moment. Look at the damage. So substantial across the entirety of Vitality. But 3 of them walk away with their lives.
They will, and they'll get to defuse as well to make it 3-0. So far, your plan going, or your prediction, I should say, going to fruition, as they'll find AKs, FAMAS, and an AUG. That's all fine. The AK important for ZywOo. Now see if he transfers that over and goes for the AWP directly, because as we know, they play with a single AK-47. It nearly worked out, but that entails that they will have an AWP no matter what, and I think that needs to be red, or should be red. Yeah, and it will be. Alex will swap with ZywOo. And which spawn? He's got a long spawn. Long spawn and a huge B spawn on big side, by the way.
How many do they throw? Just 2.
Yeah, it's not like they can go aggressive, though. So basically, they have to concede the fact that they can't off battle long without utility. Oh, we're going to have a stop. I see a lot of people not moving.
Ooh, this changes the spawns.
It does. That's a good point. Yeah, very good point.
Let's see if that changes actually anything, or if we play to the same game plan. It always pains me a little bit to see tabseN with an AWP in his hands. I do mirror the sentiment that we had unfolding on the desk, that when he was their primary rifler and Smooya was working that magic stick, that's where I just was such a tabseN fan. And although he is still a fantastic player in all facets, I do feel like the AWP maybe bogs him down a little, which is unfortunate, but a reality of their new roster. And I don't want to take anything away from him, because let's be real, the guy is one of the biggest pieces of talent here for Big.
You say that like he's a chunk of meat. He's one of the biggest pieces of talent. Get him, Tiger.
Grade A.
Yeah, well, it's true. There's no doubt about that. Lots of talent here this weekend. I liked Simple's tweet that he put out not too many hours ago.
What was that?
Just basically saying that it's Valve's game and they can do what they want. Shut up and adapt. Don't cry about it.
But Vertigo.
Yeah, I know, bro. I know.
Have you played it?
yeah, once or twice. Lots of things you can do to exploit, though. I mean,
that is true.
Let's just rush spawn, or hey, why don't we strafe jump down the side here and use mechanics to get back in the level below me? Like,
as much as I don't like the map, I do like the mentality that Simple is kind of putting forward.
There's a lot of texture issues. Yeah, I like the mentality.
I like the mentality
that Simple's putting forward. A lot of texture issues so far on Vertigo. Couple little spots. You can be cheeky, jump off the drywall, back on top of the generator, the aircon, or whatever it is on the B-bomb site. You can see the entrance from dumpster. Look, I'm making up calls right now because I don't even know what they are.
Yeah, I was going to say,
I seriously don't know
I
the
have
calls
no
yet.
clue.
You're going to have to go figure those out.
Oy, oy, oy. All right, back into the action. That AWP of ZywOo is not aggressively positioned on long because he didn't have the furthermost spawn. But Big still work out towards the doors, and he's successful in his endeavor. Down goes Tizian early. And Big, well, they have 0 map control. They all went for long, so that's all they're going to have. Handfuls of it. But they'll have their hands full once they arrive. It's still ZywOo with eyes pried down long, waiting. And just as he starts to move, this is when they could very well burst. You can see the smokes popping at the very moment. He's drawn back into cover, will hide behind the boxes, and RPK's here to support. Who gets this opening? Big, if they can get another bomb plant down, we saw how close it got them with just the plant alone.
ZywOo on top of the site, but being swarmed. AWP in a very tough position. Love this wall of smoke setup thrown out by Big. Again, the theory is always there, but they can't do anything with the plant. They haven't pushed through. And if they did, they might have run into the AWP alone. The problem is they've allowed Gandalf to be taken by 2 rifles, and that is menacing. Bomb still not planted, and down yet further, although pulled back as tabseN finds Alex. RPK, all to do. Both lined up as well. Single on the first, low HP on the second. Gobby's got the Krieg, but he's down already, and it's 4-0 for Vitality.
There we go. RPK coming to life. And this is nice because he was at the bottom of that scoreboard on overpass. Was never really needed. Was getting team stabbed at times, you know, playing off the back foot, but already...
Yeah, that was their motivation. They were spanking him.
Yeah, already up there with ZywOo this time. You know, 6 and 7 frags apiece between RPK and the Opper, who did a really good job, I think, of actually trying to deal with that incredible wall of smokes. I mean, it was such a massive wall of smokes that it completely countered his sniper, not able to get any of those big players, but at the same time, I do feel like it made Big hesitant in a way. Bomb was sat down on the other side of smoke, they had goose control, and ramp was fully in the hands of Big, but they just didn't know how to take that one step further, that necessary step of clearing and planting the bomb.
Drop down CT. They want to rotate back through. They do catch off guard B, but they're a little bit late to the party. Catching them from middle, but the damage done. Good communication. Nade came out from B in the hands of Apex to get the kill. ZywOo's going to add to that by getting Tabson, and every plan that Big throw at them, despite that I really enjoyed that wall of smoke on the A site, is just being countered and completely thwarted again, even when they try to adapt and run back toward A in a panic. Spotted fading through the smoke, bomb down. Just on next to try and win this out.
Chances does he really have with no bomb and a Mac 10? Not even a flashbang to try and pop himself through doors.
Well, that's just it. There's 2 people on the other side of the doors staring at his backside right now.
Hate to say it, but he is doomed. And even if he gets the fight that he's most prepared for, I mean, Mac 10 to the top of mid, best of luck. So to no surprise, he dies. Vitality take 5. And only lose 2 members in the midst of this. But it's a multifaceted Big so far. You know, we've got this interesting wall of smokes on the A site. This time we've got B giving them the slippery noodle down past CT spawn, trying to get in behind them. Even with 3 players from Big out in mid, they got stuck. You know, they came to a grinding halt, just like they did on the other side of that wall of smokes. The first steps are there, but the toddler keeps tumbling.
Flash and op shot. ZywOo again trying to win out that position at long. This time against the Pistols, there will be no fight to be had. In fact, it goes back toward middle. Middle to Cats. Cat covered off because it's the standard. It's not the swing from CT, but it is Goose from Alex and the op at the car. That's the key. No matter what you throw at ZywOo, he's got a backup plan this time. Smoke deep. Potential to run it a little bit further. No counter utility, no nade thrown to Catwalk. It'd be pretty punishing without armor on 3 players right now. Oh, look at this execution. Careful, Copy. That smoke's fading. He's just sitting in the open, but they get the corner smoke down. That's crucial because it takes away ZywOo's vision. He's forced to push further back. Oh, but he gets the Molotov out in time, and the op drawn. Takes down yet another just when it looked like they had something in it. They even knew to check Goose. They had to set up red. Oh, they still get covered off, and now problems ensue because bomb still can't be planted and will not be. It's 6-0, and we've not had a bomb plant yet, if I'm not mistaken. Excuse me, we had 1. We've had 1 bomb plant so far.
Yeah, I feel like that one could have been certainly put down as well had it not been for ZywOo burning one to a crisp. Had it not been to the follow-up op shot, and then when the bomb does get retrieved, that player with Deeg in hand is just so preoccupied with the fact that Vitality have swarmed the bomb site. I mean, you could say that the bomb is almost as close to being planted this time as it was when they were stuck behind their very own wall of smokes. So the openings have been there, but faster than chances open. Doors closed, Vitality swarming all over, and this time they come out into the round with a different look. 2 players fast cat to boost ZywOo with eyes prying down lower tunnels. This also allows Apex to walk up mid, and unfortunately for him, he'll lose his head. 5v4 to the favor of Big. They can just sit back for the moment. They're going to re-aggress down long, and RPK just saw Tabson get behind the box.
Ooh-wee.
Loses the duel, though.
Finally, something going Big's way, and patience pays off as Antares waits for the response. Alex has to push out from middle. It's down to a 5-on-2. This round should be done. Going in the way of Big. Double op setup. I'm going to say that that's all but done at this point. Mind you, bombs at long. Don't give ZywOo a chance at it. That's exactly what their intent is as they slow things down. Grouping up, both in middle. Double op, as mentioned, to try and hold this off. No matter what they do, they pretty much have to get 2 picks before they get to the site and get very fortunate in their timing. Bomb still over toward A. I don't think it's going to happen.
You know, they're just going to hold hands in the back of the bomb site and hope to fight another day. So, like you said, I think you said it best, actually. Patience pays off. Not just once, but multiple times in this round. Got B catching Apex's aggression up mid-ramp. We had Tabson wide swinging into RPK, which I think is a bit of a pivot kill. You know, if RPK gets the best of the AWPer, he finds himself in pit. It cuts off that avenue, big, very easily used to get to the A site. Maybe Xantares is even drawn forward before Alex dies in lower tons. So there was multiple chances. Multiple chances indeed, none of which capitalized upon.
You could even argue that Alex wouldn't even need to go tons at that point.
Yep.
He wouldn't need to be aggressive to catch them out. So
Just getting
saving
desperate.
ops. Saving some ops. Not going to happen so easily. Not for MBK, at least. No, he's in there.
But it's ZywOo. One.
Oh my. Thought he was going to get a crack at it.
Had a chance, had the shot. Not the kill. 6-1, big finally on the board. It takes 7 rounds, but they're there. GG Bet live odds. Skewered, and understandably so.
Absolutely. That's just how they go. Imiti. Yeah, they are live odds. That's the cool thing about GG Bet. They've got them shifting as you go throughout the game, making things a lot more fun and dynamic. Tabson trying to be dynamic with his AWP, drops to Suicide, doesn't spot the 2 crossing, given the smoke is down. Formerly, this would be known as a reset round. Now it's known as 1 round off of the reset. I don't know what we're going to have to come up with a name.
Yeah, I was going to say, I was about to ask if you'd thought one yet.
It's just a loss. It's -1.
But we need labels, Matt.
Do we? I feel like society has enough labels in 2019. Do we need more pronouns?
No.
Okay. You must construct additional pronouns. You require more Vespine gas.
You StarCraft player?
Not really.
I didn't take you for one.
Nah. I played a little bit in like the 5-minute free trial, and that was about it.
Yeah, the single player is great. Multiplayer, well,
it's a cool game.
They're really good.
I just don't. It's never. It wasn't my cup of tea at the time, which I would have wanted to get into it, and then I never went back to it.
Wow.
ZywOo just spotting Xantares through the smoke. Star-studded battle that goes only one way. ZywOo, he's got lots to play with on top of the site. Finds a third as well. Flashed in by RPK. Finally, Tabson has an answer. That's going to be followed by Nex, and even still they have more because looking down towards CT, Nex has a chance in this. Nearly they spotted it out to make this a 2-on-2 as the op was staring to CT, but bomb to be playing at 21 seconds, hopes to get it down. Oh my! Has he given it a chance? He has! NBK, get off the second op if you can't hit the shot, my friend. NBK gives Nex the round. It's 6-2.
Oh, what a chance. Comes out through smoke just off the plant. That one bullet is what makes the difference. And instead, Big, they've gotten back another round. Oh, Zai, whoop, whoop, doing his work on the catwalk. Player can't even get through smoke. Like, for the amount of chances that ZywOo takes away, NBK kind of gives them back.
Pretty ridiculous shot to catch him jumping back through the smoke as well.
Oh my god, he was airborne.
Look how stoic he is.
You're not supposed to be able to do that.
Well, in fairness, it is still 6-2. Just listening to the reactions of the Imba TV guys.
Yeah.
7 kills for Nex leads the way. 0 for Tizian. 0, 1, and 8. ZywOo has 15. You can read the rest. I don't need to read for you. Unless you're driving in a car, don't look at your screen. Pay attention to the road.
For some people, driving is the biggest responsibility of their lives.
For some people like me, it's the most fun thing I do in my life.
I drive a Civic, so it's not that fun.
That's... God. You live in Montreal and you drive a Civic. You are everything I hate in the world. Good thing they banned lowered cars in Quebec.
It's not my fault, I'm French.
Oui, oui, mon ami. I'm kidding. I just make fun of Civics. That's normal, right? I came up in like a Volkswagen house
it's
before
all right.
I was a BMW guy, so it's like Volkswagen, Honda, that was like the rivalry.
Look, man, you're a car snob. It's not your fault.
Yeah, totally. No, it's I like banter, cheeky banter. Yeah. Civ Nation, bro. So, pistols for Vitality as a result of that incredible performance by Nex, or lack thereof by NBK. That puts us in a position in which they can now start to gain some momentum in the half. Nex, continuing where he left off, finds RPK. Catwalk as well, so they know that there's something up to no good on that side of the map. Given that he was retreating down Catwalk, they'd already pushed it. They should have expected more pistol presence on the site. Nonetheless, I don't think it will matter, and it won't. tabseN's already got ZywOo, even with the stack, down to a 4 on 1, 5 players left. Could have pulled that off. NBK, the only one.
He just wants that one kill from the B site, but it won't even be given to him. Nex is just going to linger around the site. Pistols, they tried for their mid play. Not the first time we've seen a proactive mid play as well. Take note, remember we had ZywOo boosted up on Catwalk looking for that lower tunnel kill. In the one round that Big went so passive-aggressive, sat back, and it all paid off. It's how they started this spree now of 3 consecutive rounds. Patience, Nex, and an anti-eco. That's the nature of these 3 wins for the Big Clan. The buyback is there. We've got it. Vitality back in with the guns. Kits, non-existent. Take note in case the retake gets rolling. We also have Tizian with a kill now, so all is righteous and good as we hit that 10th round. Let's go towards long. That's where Gabi finds his opening. Good flash assist from Tizian. Putting in the hard work. The man advantage, we'll see how Big can just take control of this map, or if they even can, because Vitality, they're not going to wait around. They're not going to play too passive. In fact, they get aggressive, get a kill to counter out that opening pick. Now leaving ZywOo alone as we have Big on the B split. NBK, in an attempt to hold them back, has to dodge the Molotov as he loses teammates towards middle. That's going to apply more pressure, not just the flames. And yet, he seems sane. He stays inside the smoke as Alex pushes through one.
It's always the ones you don't expect that are the insane ones that are Connor.
Yeah.
Alex gets the kill. ZywOo with the flash. Gabi going down. Alex does get caught out though, however, and Nex gets the kill in return, keeping the bomb in play. If he went down, it fumbles forward. You find yourself in a 3-on-1. Not much to do for tabseN on an AWP, but now they can open up the map. They are going to do that as well, as it's no AWP. But ZywOo is out toward the car at the very least.
If he had an op, I'd be willing to bet my house that I don't have a house. They don't get past this.
To bet it.
You know, but instead he's going to take that M4 duel, just peppers them back, rattles some rounds down to the catwalk. tabseN has to swap over to a rifle of his own, and as the reload's in, the bomb can go down, but he wants the kill first. And ZywOo, so slippery, just crouches beneath and then gets a little aggressive. Creates that distraction and allows for NBK to this time successfully flank.
Yes, with the AUG, and hits the shot, picks up the AWP after. That is my football, actually. I left that there yesterday.
You mean soccer ball?
Excuse me?
No, I said it for the sake of it. I'm with you on the football.
Yeah.
I figure if I don't play the sport, I can't have an opinion.
It's not hand elbow, hand egg. Yeah, hand egg.
Let's just all agree the worst sport's baseball and move along.
I mean, the worst sport's esports. Hey, controversial.
I like my job.
Me too. I just couldn't think of a better answer at the time, so I thought I'd just say that. Let me get back to you on that one.
All right. ZywOo's not going to wait, though. How about that?
No, he's certainly not. ZywOo's got the shot back. Alex finds Gabi.
And almost another.
Suarez does get it back, though, and that's, damage done. He goes down to 14. That's going to make things a little bit problematic. ZywOo still wants to flash into long. They want to hold this cave, and oh my goodness, will he ever. Down goes Nex. I'm not a big fan of darts.
Yeah, that's fair.
ZywOo actually just totally tripled out on the round. 4 in total.
Doesn't
miss.
21 and 6. I mean, not a single other player on his team has double digits.
That's actually ridiculous. That's just unreal. He almost has more than everyone on the other team combined. Almost. He has 21, and they have 24. So 3 kills right now, and none going against them. And he leads all fraggers. And I mean, combined on the other team. Tizian, tabseN, both with Deagles, both converging on middle from the respective wings of the map. One coming out from long A, one in the underpass position. Bomb sits with the former mentioned at top. That's Gob B.
No offense, but we've seen this play twice out of big now where they go for that 1 AK. Why isn't it Zanteres? Why isn't it tabseN?
Yeah, in this case, I do kind of agree. If you've only got one, you kind of want to... Zanteres is the aim star.
Right. Like, why didn't you bring him to this roster for that reason?
I am surprised at how slowly they've been implementing him.
It's like you mentioned at the beginning of this series how when we saw the inclusion of Zanteres with Big, it's like the team style changed, not his.
Oh, they admitted to that.
Right. And if you want to include him in the structure, I think like this would be a great round where you throw that structure out the window. This is one of those rounds where you let him be the raid boss and just go off. But it's not my decision.
My only thing that I could think of for that is that maybe the communication's still lacking. We know that he's not the best in English. It's something they've had to work on.
Yeah.
Obviously, Fatih, Gabbi, Turkish backgrounds, speaks Turkish, can work with him in that.
Yeah, certainly
but
helps.
But maybe if they want the AK to be responsive, look, I'm clutching at straws. That's the only thing I can think of.
Oh, this is a dynamic camera. But not that it gets many kills. Alex gonna charge through. Oh, gets 3. Has to tap to the 4th. Sidearm's not gonna cut it. tabseN gets that AK back in his paws, tries to charge into the B-bomb site, and does best Apex. That's the plan, no doubt. But can he go one further? Because they're so hot on his heels. ZywOo comes in alone. This is a bit of a disjointed push, and yet he still gets the job done. There you have it, 9-3.
9-3 indeed. Yeah, Vitality take things back into control immediately after. It looked as though momentum was slipping. There's now lots of money left over, so Gob be immediately onto a Krieg. AWP for tabseN, the rest likely to be AKs. I say that, and then someone will buy like an auto sniper to prove me wrong. This was actually pretty stellar. That's such a menacing position to be in. If you can time it through the smoke, if you can work your way out with just enough of a gap after they've thought, we've done them in there.
Yeah.
Man, you can punish in that position. The other one is obviously the boost up on the Inferno box. You try and look over top and see them above the smoke, the firebox. But if you can push through, that's even better, because then you can fade on your own call. You're not getting utility thrown at you quite so easily. 22, ZywOo. That has a nice ring to it. 22, ZywOo. You're doing the math? I can see
33.
Yeah.
33. On the other team, of course, accumulatively.
Yeah.
Will he best them by the end? Probably not. Because the game might not even get that far if he continues to have his way.
Yeah, I think I said 24 last time.
Yeah, your math was really off.
Yeah,
I didn't say anything.
I just forgot 10. It's,
I
like,
just...
It's kind of because it's, it's my 20th birthday today, right?
Yeah.
So just forgetting 10s all the time.
I'm not here to throw you under the bus. I'm going to go down with you.
No, you're going to drive the bus. I get it. Wow. Driving the bus toward catwalks. Zanteres and tabseN. Tick-tock tab. But who else do they face on the A site other than the man himself? The devil, ZywOo.
Thing is, too, for such a cold-blooded killer in the server.
He's a big, bubbly, hilarious dude. That Freya interviewing him at the major was so funny. No, I don't know. I don't know. No. It's like so good. Smoke down, Incendiary goes the other direction. Covers off the top side of the stairs.
We've seen Alex McMeekin inside of the smoke before. Let players actually walk past before he decides to activate. But now the smoke fades. And he's going to go for the peek. Loses his head for it. Next gets the best of him. Tizian elsewhere is going to win that duel on long, so ZywOo will be pressured from both directions, and he knows it. Oh, he knows it. He welcomes the challenge. He welcomes them in, and even then continuously hits these shots, just keeping up that damage. Despite Big closing the gap and getting closer, the time is dwindling.
Great movement together as well. Apex, ZywOo gets back up. Apex cleared long for him, and he knew he could cross back over and reset his aim. He couldn't afford to go that direction without having a rifle to cover off long. So by doing that, he just absolutely styles on the A site. 10-3.
He can't believe it. He's shaking his head in disbelief as he pulls off these
doing another
plays.
interview, that's all.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, my God, it's not even fair.
He's got 25. Predictions for a 30-bomb first half.
I'll take it. I'll take that bet. 5 kills in 2 rounds. Let's see if he can do it. They have been consistently challenging him on A over and over.
Not this time. You say that. They were forced off by a can of flames.
Can't get that at your grocery store.
No, but you can get a can of spicy tuna, and my God, they're good. Apex to Gob B inside middle. That opens things up again in favor of the French. Zantares in on his own this time. Let's see if that aim prevails. It should. Alex, he's overcommitted, backing off. Zantares is there far too soon, but doesn't actually go far enough. Smoke down. ZywOo wants back into position. Alex will be lost, but gaining a kill by way of Tizian team killing Zantares. Not what they need right now. So far, ZywOo yet to find one in this round, but as soon as I say it, a tap with the CZ at that range will get him number 26. And Apex will find Tizian to make it 11-3.
Okay, look,
I heard the Chinese commentators just laugh, by the way. They didn't even hype that play up. They just started laughing when ZywOo hit that shot.
I mean, even if he doesn't get 30 at this point, we got to round up just for the sake of style points with that one. Like, that's such an... The player's turned with his attention on long doors. It's such an easy time to just switch over to the op and you know, ensure your kill. But no, ZywOo knows he has them. Once you're in this man's crosshair, you are going to die. Or at least so it seems here on Dust 2. Hell of a game for ZywOo at the moment. The one-man show. You know, we hyped out how the other pieces of Vitality were coming together, that the team play looks good, that the individuals shine in certain rounds, but that's not even needed here. You know, that's their fallback. If ZywOo can't be the one-man show, then you need an NBK or Apex ace. 15 round deep on Dust 2. Haven't even had to dig that deep. Vitality just going to go into a nice spread default in the 15th and final round of the first half. Alex pushed back from mid doors yet again. But it is a casualty on the B site. That's NBK deleted, and so is Apex. Hell of a headshot collection going for Gob B, but Alex looks to be one better. Can't manage that third kill. It's Tabson who bests him and upgrades into the AUG as he goes for the bomb plant. Now there's a flank off catwalk that should screw over CT spawn.
Well, you could be right on that. I think it will be. Yeah, absolutely. That should be a kill instantly on ZywOo, so he won't get his third round half. I've jinxed him, but Zantares does go down. RPK has it all to play for. Has a kit. Smoke, but they pushed. They knew where he was. They didn't want to give him a chance. Fourth round for Big gives them, speaking of chances, a slim one, a very slim one that they can try and convert. Oh, goodness. Those are some deathly looking eyes.
Yeah, that's what your face looks like when you boot up a server versus ZywOo.
My face or just in
a face?
A general? Okay.
Yeah, I was using you as an example because you're in front of me.
I thought you were trying to throw more jabs than McGregor.
Nope.
Connor.
Nope. You know, I feel like the rise of Connor as a name has helped me in a way.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because as a kid, it used to always be John Connor. That was all I ever got, you know? Oh, Connor? It was always Terminator references. Now we've got Connor McDavid. We've got Connor McGregor.
What about Sean Connery?
I'm not fancy enough.
Right.
But I feel like you really want to make that one work.
Yeah.
So I'll give you some leeway. You get the green light on that one.
Okay. All right. Cool. I like green lights. Yeah. I feel like Matthew is a name that's being phased out of. It was very popular within my generation.
Yeah, there's a lot
I am
of you.
not the current generation.
No, everyone knows a Matthew.
Yeah, but they're all like 20 to 30, maybe 35.
Yep.
And pretty soon it'll be your grandfather's name.
See, the thing is now people are screwing with the spelling. Okay, Connor, spelled K-O-N-O-R.
Oh, get out of here, you hipsters.
That's what I'm saying.
All you're doing is, like, confusing your kid's friends, and all of his birthday cards will be spelled wrong. And he will forever feel offended because you decided to be a hipster with his name.
They've spoiled something great like Tizian will hope to do in the pistol because it's just a straight-up B push. And he's going to tap away into ZywOo first. The biggest threat is down. Is there a threat at all with the remainder of Vitality? Seems so. RPK and BK. Between the two, take 3.
Good peek. Good timing. Good information. MBK had to make sure that he knew exactly where and when they were going to arrive from tunnels, because inevitably they were nearly a lineup for the 5-7 to fire into, and now it's all on Nex. This could be number 11 for Vitality, making it their second pistol in this game, tying us at 2-2 on the pistols as well, just to make note. As Nex gets in, though, manages to get behind the box. That causes a bit of evasion, nearly gave him a one-on-one chance toward the backside of the platform, but it wasn't to be, and RPK finds it to make it 12-4.
Yeah, good job there by Alex, just kind of shoulder peeking, baiting him inwards. Had a chance at those headshots, but it just wasn't going to happen. So Vitality, they bombard and barrage their way into the B site, taking that 12th round, like you said, taking the second pistol. So, I mean, if they needed anything else coming off of Overpass, you would have said a couple pistol wins would help. And now look at the difference in score. Just too much to handle. And this starts to make you worry about Big. I mean, in terms of a project, like, you know, they had some great runs in the previous year. You know, it was hype coming in off of their previous legend status. That's all now out the window. And if we keep getting these lackluster runs at events like this, where they have been given a chance to showcase some skill, be rocky waters ahead. But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves, because right now we still have a chance for Big. Not in this one. Probably not in this series either.
Ooh. Okay. More laughter from the Chinese commentators. They love the ZywOo. They're just laughing because he's having his way with everyone. That's pretty spectacular. Doesn't hit the jump, doesn't even go for it, just waits for him to land and just takes his head off. He, in turn, will have his removed, but that will signal the call to go toward B. Should now make this a 13-4 half. Alex will just hold off anyone rotating back, buy further time and space for them to plant the bomb. So twice they win the pistol, twice they convert that into an additional round. That was something Big failed to do in one of their 2 pistols. The first one, in fact, if you want to know.
Even when ZywOo dies, he wins the round because he sees 3 bodies, calls that immediate B hit, and Vitality no longer have to deal with that non-really existent threat of pistols, but they're still there.
It's the information, right?
Yeah.
You want to slow it down. You want to play the information. You don't want to run into any stacks. Don't want to give yourself up. And even if you do, you want to make sure you do with some sort of execution instead of just blindly going for it. So, yeah, I mean, you're right. He sees 3 pistols, then kind of lose the element of surprise. Got the kill. That's all they get. Next will carry over the scout. But it is 3 rounds to go for Vitality, and Vitality will find themselves in the winner's column, bracket, group.
It kind of looks like a
portion, whatever it is.
Can we put the scoreboard down and look at that picture again? Because it kind of looks like a white launders. I've never seen this graffiti. I don't know where it is, but I would like to revisit it.
Oh, that's too bad. A white launders.
Yeah.
Does he have the blonde hair? I noticed he re-dyed his.
He did. It was his roots were growing out.
I just shaved mine. I said enough is enough.
Yeah, but for some reason he chooses to do it.
Yeah,
you know, you had a good reason.
Sure, and I think I probably could have looked similar to him right now with the shaved sides, dark again, the blonde, and I just said, you know what? I don't like looking like a hedgehog. So, shaved it.
I'm waiting for Mohan to bring back the big gold chain. You know, he busted that out at ECS, and it's yet to be seen again. So
he had to give it back to his friend.
Yeah, it was definitely borrowed. I mean, we probably make the same amount of money, so I don't know where he's buying chains.
It's that boxer stuff.
Yeah.
I got one of their shirts, bro.
Yeah, it's my closet that bought him that chain. You're right. Here comes the pinch, though. Matt, it's going to be a big one. Down towards mid comes Vitality in numbers. And they get cut down as well. At least one and done. Traded back and forth, but it's Xantares. And ZywOo, of course, to get the best of it all. Next, sandwiched. had no chance at getting out of there. You know, you get this initial engagement, this initial trade train that makes the round seem close, but who's the instrumental difference maker? It's ZywOo with the 3K. Everybody else gets 1, and it's ZywOo with the multi-frag, so he does it.
He gets number 30.
He's gone and done it.
That's, yeah. That's significant. The next best on his team is on 14.
Damn.
The next best at the server is Tabson on 15. He is double everybody.
So ZywOo's 30, and you said you're 30 tomorrow or the day after?
Technically today in Shanghai.
So
Technically,
right now.
An hour and 2 minutes ago in Shanghai. Actually, technically, Shanghai time. My birthday's 1:11 a.m., but that's Atlantic time zone, so I don't know the math there.
Well, happy freaking birthday, man.
Yeah.
What a pleasure
Thanks,
it is
man.
to be here with you.
11 hours and 9 minutes from now.
All right.
For those of you playing along at home.
Well, now you're getting too picky, okay? Take your happy birthday, Matt.
The reason I know this is... oh, wait, no, I'm sorry. I lied. I'm doing it backwards. It's actually 23 hours and 9 minutes. I'm 1:11 p.m., not a.m.
Oh, well, then there's no reason to be excited.
I have both clocks right now because we're p.m. here, but it's other way around. We're a.m. here, it's p.m. at home. MBK takes out next. Let's get back to the game, Connor. God, you're getting us off topic so much.
You're making it about you.
I look every day at the clock at 1:11. That's why I know that.
Oh, poor guy. Even has a bit of positioning, but he's caught. They take him down from the low road. Tabson takes them on the cross, though.
He will, but it's desperate measures at this point in time because map point looms and they've already got the B site. That is impossible to retake. They have an AWP. MP9's not really going to give them much, but better than nothing. They have to concede this. So good luck with the overtime point conceded. Take them 11 tries to get back into it.
Listen, it's only 11 map and match points.
Yeah, that's, you know what? If you're playing against Team Liquid, that's not a big deal.
Who are not in attendance.
Yeah, I know.
Neither is Astralis. So somebody else gets to win this weekend.
That means Ents is technically the favorite.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, they are technically the favorite of this event, according to the HLTV ratings. I will say that you still have to throw Na'Vi at them and see how that plays out. And of course, FaZe. FaZe, you can almost see how it goes with them.
But Na'Vi lost to Vici, so...
Sure, and rough start. Look, no one saw it coming, but when was the... how many times in the history of Na'Vi have we seen them lose the opening game of a tournament and still make it to top 4, right?
You're absolutely right.
So I'm not too worried about that.
They can be beaten, but not broken.
They can be pretty broken at times too. But yeah, I get the point you're making. I agree with that. For them, it's just always slow starts. It's always slow starts. And you see them play the first game of the tournament, and it's like they haven't played in months. Nice nade. Good touchdown. That's exactly what Big needs to start off this round. Meanwhile, though, working out from middle, it's Apex. Had 3 to fire at through CT. Couldn't get it done. And this round might be in favor of Big finally as well. This would be their first of the second half.
Oh, my goodness. Not even a chance for Alex. Tabson CT peak and got B there one after. So it is no longer 11 map and match points, but 10 instead. Every great comeback starts with one round. But I'm not, for a moment, going to entertain the thought that Big are actually going to do this.
Yeah, Henry and I usually have a rule, you can allude to it, but you can't really get serious about it until they hit 10 rounds.
That's fair.
When they hit double digits, and even that's compromised now with the new money system, so keep an eye on how that plays in Panders. Apex, oh dear. Fully blind, and Nex is already there. Tried to avenge him, MBK just walked out, gave himself up. Further damage done as Alex goes down. Now we've got Big on the server.
Yeah, but I feel like we also have Vitality letting off the... Well, I won't say gas pedal, because what they've done in the last 2 rounds is just go for these aggressions.
Stepped on the gas
pedal.
Yeah,
they've kind of, you know...
Take it out of cruise control.
Yeah.
Try and drive it yourself.
They've turned off the brain and pushed themselves forward. So yeah, all right. We get the B rush that gets shut down with the grenade, an excellent headshot from Tizian. We get the long push that could have gone their way, seeing as the CTs were flashed, but as were Vitality. You know, so it's only a matter of time. The same way that Big did the exact same thing to get their first T round, right? You just go ultra passive. Sit inside the tunnels, sit to the top of mid, wait to see what Big eventually throw your way. That's where we're going to have to get if Vitality want to close this game. They were hoping that a rush would get it done, but let's be real. Big are no slouches.
Not at all. 5-on-2. They're going to give it a crack. 37 seconds. ZywOo the key. Next gives himself up. He's on the ramp. They've already gone by the smoke. Tagged low. But now, if they then tunnel vision onto him, Baton's on Terrace perfectly. And ZywOo's got nothing he can do at that point in time. 15-6, 2 in a row for Big. No guns. No guns on Team Vitality's side. They could actually go for a pistol force here if they wanted. RPK, MBK, they can both drop, get some armor on everybody.
Give me a scout in there, RPK.
Scoot?
Yeah.
They're scoots?
Just scoot a boot.
All fell apart at long pretty quickly that time, really. Next got their flashes over, and he managed to win it. There was a lot of utility that seemed almost to the detriment of the cave. Deep smoke, deep Molotov, they were forced out. Won the battle for them. Next is going to continue at this round as well. ZywOo down. Down already. Oh my goodness, everyone is. Tabson, AWP finds Alex through the door. Actually, it was clean. It didn't even go through the edge of the door. Next gets the next shot onto Apex. And the final kill.
1 health.
You can't blame me for trying, all right? Like I was going to say is going to come in, but 1 HP, NBK will survive. I think we're prolonging the inevitable.
Yeah, Big sprawled out on the deathbed. 1 health. 1 health and nothing more. From 11 map points to now 8. First 3 relatively easy. We had 2 just full-fledged rushes, and then obviously pistols in the last. But now we have the buyback, and RPK with plenty of funds to purchase up the op will do so. ZywOo looking to crack past 30.
Yeah, he's been stagnant on that for a while, hasn't he? Maybe that's the problem. Because we've got 2 players on 20 now, Tabson and Nex. I've cut the lead in half. ZywOo is going to be hoping his teammates can help him out. Just 1 more round. Maybe it'll be this one. They've got guns again.
Yeah, they aren't shying off either. A little bit of interest in the upper B tons. They'll go for the push off of the frag grenade. You could see NBK hesitant when that frag exploded, checked his back, but didn't catch them. And now they're actually inside the tunnels. He's going to go upwards to check. Sure enough, caught off. Nice positioning there by Big. They take that map control. They do not shy away and simply hold the sights. No, they play proactive, and it pays off perfectly.
This is what they should have been doing so much sooner. Getting map control, changing it up, double push to tunnels. Yeah, the Vitality's just not ready for it. They're getting caught off now, and again, we find ourselves another 5-on-2. Money not enough.
I like this because, I mean, you know, the big strategy to win the first 2 rounds of the CT side were simply just use your grenades to hold back the pushes. And like we talked about, Vitality were going to go into a slower pace. They were going to go into a textbook form of Counter-Strike. And the moment they did that, Big, instead of allowing that space, just took it all back. They themselves run the risk and push things forward. But by pushing the pace, they've taken the round, you'd think. It is just ZywOo, and he's got 2. But only 3 HP.
3 HP might be enough for this guy sometimes. Fakes out the plant, tries to bait the room for the window, manages somehow not to get tagged through the Fox. Now knows he's got a little bit of space. He's going to commit to the bomb plant at the very least. Try and get further money for his teammates, but couldn't find it through the doors. Even if he did, he was lined up from tunnels either way. And now we find ourselves with 8 for Big. Connor, we can start to get a little bit fascinated by perhaps this approach.
I'm interested.
Intrigued.
I am. I think one of the most crucial things that had to happen, which has, is Nex and Tabson both having 20 kills, right? We've got some kind of activation in the frag department for Big, because it was so lackluster when ZywOo was going 1 above. But he's cooled off, and they have taken that opportunity with both hands. They've seized the moment. They've stolen the rounds. But this is always the classic situation. You know, you build it back piece by piece. Big give you something to talk about round after round. And then out of nowhere, all it's going to take is some ridiculous, you know, Apex 4K entry like we saw in Overpass, NBK 3K entry, the same on that map. You know, this is what I was talking about with the depths of Vitality. Like, ZywOo is that pillar, but who is going to be the killer? Could be any of the other 4.
Just want to point out the combined Big have 69 kills right now.
I see.
I didn't point it out for any particular reason, Connor.
This is normally when Launders would say, giggity, and since he's not here with me, I feel the need to do it myself.
He's probably saying it in the hotel room right now.
Yeah, he's probably watching. He's.
Oh, I don't think he's watching. He's just probably saying it in the hotel room right now.
He's watching. He's envious because you're sat here next to me instead.
It's one Canadian for the next. He'll be all right. We're all friends. So pistols again. Pistols only. 3 inside of B this time. For Big, perhaps expecting a little bit more of a rush. This gives an opportunity because if Goppy misses any shots here, if he gets taken down, they get a bomb plant on this. It's retake time, and that's not an easy task. That nade certainly will make it a little easier, though. Great damage on the RPK. Does damage on to 4 in total, and he's waiting. Closer still they gain. Smoke in the corner. If that AK goes down to the car as well, we could have a problem. Goppy's on 2. He's had to run away from it, and they're both gone. Apex and MBK get the kills back. Now they've got the AKs to hold, and the bomb is planted. The retake is on.
Yeah, and it's going to be really hard for Nex to find any kind of footing. NBK already just looms above him. The question is, do the 2 catwalk players that could potentially come from behind Nathan offset his attention? We could have Vitality just hold those players back. ZywOo's scope from Goose is definitely holding back the cat push, so it's going to be Nex slain by NBK the moment he works forward.
He knows he's got a Molotov to his left, though. He doesn't need to look out a catwalk yet. In fact, was one better. Kill to drop,
Done.
and it's closed. ZywOo with 2, and what a way to go. 2 players on A. They had 3 in B against the Pistols, and as soon as the op was lost and overwhelmed, the corner smoke, great execution. It's the series to Vitality.
Yeah, that smoke close left, Gabi throws down himself, just tries to open up his ability to, lock down over boxes. Never happens. They swarm so quickly. And then I feel like Zentera is coming back from long A. He was a little caught off guard by the fact that Alex, who had jumped down towards CT spawn, had thrown his own smoke towards CT cross, which just, gave them that wiggle room for pistol players to play around close smoke. It enables the overwhelming of the A-bomb site, and that's why you don't get overexcited when you have the comebacks starting to happen, because all it takes is 5 pistols.
I still need to dig into some of the economy stuff right now and whatnot, but yeah, it still shows we're getting the eco rounds when required. They still seem to have a similar impact, and you can be a little bit more aggressive, I think, when you're on the CT side. But again, I got to look. We need a bigger sample pool, or at least I do. But absolutely credit given to the smokes more than the pistols. The smokes are what won that last round for me. You put down that corner smoke, as soon as the op's overwhelmed, you then drop. Godby's in a world of